beaters, joiners, please bring your coinage. We sing 3-pointers, money shots all net, all vets, bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops, dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. Chill.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, that scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blast.
TV.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Yes, sir.
To this day.
To this day.
You was on that Goldwater when you did that verse?
I might have been. I was about to commend you about yours too. Find that flow. Find that flow. I don't know if we need to send an expedition mission out, but find that flow. I like that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Wave is part of the 360 ensemble. It's in there somewhere.
Peace to the family, y'all. Peace, love, and light. It's your brother Blue alongside my brother Red, and we are the Twin Pillars, and you are now rocking with the best. Yes. Welcome back to another episode. This is Melanin Monday 2.0. Yeah. I'm in the passenger seat.
I'm in the back seat. I'm in the side like Trey.
Okay. Popping out like Trey. Oh, die. Trey Day. It's good.
Ain't that, man. How was your 4-4 first and foremost?
Yo, man. I farmed that day. That day was the day that we did the outdoor, you know what I'm saying? Been waiting for the weather to break.
Yeah.
This was the first Saturday. They was somewhat compliant and things was moving forward. So got outside and farmed, set up a low-tech solution with a high-tech yield to a monumental earth-size problem, which is farming. And you know, there's several issues with outdoor farming and macro farming in the present and going forward. Soil is terrible, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some people, you know, again, these are solutions for people that are in urban settings as well, or wherever they might find themselves. Soil is not readily available, neither is space sometimes. So this process, this particular remedy is a product called Grow Socks. And you fill these socks up. These socks are like, once you fill them up, they're like tubes. You put an irrigation drip in the middle of it, and you could plant. So you could drop the sock on the sidewalk. You could put it on the roof. You can hang it from whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's totally pliable to be accessible wherever you might end up setting up shop. Wherever you feel like, yo, this is a great place to grow. Take it with you. You know what I'm saying? Or you could do it out in nature as well. But it allows us to utilize our own compost that we made to fill the socks up with.
Right.
And yeah, you put the food on a drip schedule, and it's almost like it's touch and go. You don't really got to go back and do maintenance, check on it every now and then. Insects can't get to it because it's in the sock. You know what I mean? But the microorganisms that you created in your compost pack is in there doing their thing. It's a whole universe, this part of a closed system. You know what I mean? And I planted a product called Wing Bean. Wing Bean is something that I had never heard of. Not a string bean and not a navy bean, but a wing bean. And the wing bean, once it reaches full maturity, it can feed around 80 people because it has 5 different parts of this particular plant that's edible. And yeah, so again, we started the process on that.
I just want to say this before you even say that I had no idea that there was so many people in our network that were into farming, that were into this life, that were actively pursuing it until I started seeing your videos on the channel and seeing the reaction of people that were just in agreement. They were, just reading the comments and being in the live chat. It was like, wow, this is a movement. You don't even have to start a movement because it's already going.
It already exists.
Yeah, it's already on.
And it's the network, it's the pedigree of the network, because the people that reach out to me, the people that are pulling up, on me, these are high pedigree individuals, because normally when you meet somebody who answered the calling and put their hands in the soil, they're in their minds and in their spirit, they're pretty much with in whatever, they're already longevity minded, and they're solution based, and they're ready for the next step and the next level. And they're also very open to sharing information. So this is a whole nother data set. This is a whole nother, data gathering apparatus, because now people are bringing in their heirloom heritage, time honored traditions of growing as well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Nana Big Mama's recipe, or she had a way to keep insects out or make certain crops grow faster type ish. So I'm meeting the mutants in this space. I'm meeting the alien space, and these are the people that are in direct contact with, I would call it, alien species, and not to get too spooked out. What I mean by that is like the fungus, the mushrooms, people that are communicating with plant species, people that communicate with insect species, people that are communicating with bee species. All of these species are sentient, and they all have medicine, and they all have messages. And I implore you to just move forward. Yeah. And then, signaling the alarm on the indoor farming, and just seeing how many people have been receptive to that, and knowing in my spirit that initially, even though I was doing it here in the country or in the outskirts or the suburbs or whatever you want to call it, my intention was to create an inner city solution, to farming, because I just always remember wanting to do this when I lived in New York, and daydreaming about being in the South, to have the opportunity to do that. But I'm like, if I could have got it done right where I was at, or at least got started, you know what I mean, I would have been so much more um effective and ready for whatever when I did get to the South.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I
So
feel you on that. And congratulations on Farmy. Um, I've been seeing the progress of the growth. It's interesting because you took a journey on growing your body and whatnot. I like how that's coming along too. I want to commend you on that. Growing your body,
oh,
yeah, fitness and whatnot.
I had skipped.
Yeah. So now
Thank
to
you.
see you put that into the plant life, the plant kingdom, and to see you turning those seeds and whatnot into crops, right? And then turning those crops into ready to table over the counter products, like ready, you know what I mean? Labels, packaging, brands and whatnot,
Yeah.
breathing life into brands. See, and building out in the public. You've been building out in the public. You kind of went low, got in your bag, you know what I'm saying? You built out, you know what I mean? You did your pivot and you was building out in the public. Like Farmy is an open source project because you wasn't gatekeeping, y'all wasn't holding back. You was
Oh,
giving
yeah.
up the game throughout the whole process,
Yeah. Sharing the information
sharing
to
information.
specify that it was about decentralized farming. You know what I'm saying? Specifically, the whole process is about sharing it and doing it in public so it can be duplicated. Um, and the goal ultimately is 1 million micro farms across America. And again, being able to sit where we at today on April 6th and to see the wisdom of it now. But in December when the download initially came, I was just like, yo, I'm following the unit. I got to download. Like, don't we always talk about downloads? We talking about alignments, and we speaking about 3-eye atlas, right? That was the 3-eye atlas process.
Right.
That's exactly what was happening. I had got my 3-eye atlas download and I took it serious. You know what I mean? And again, I want to overstress and overemphasize that I'm not doing anything magical. I'm not a super duper mystical person. I'm obedient to spirit. So that's the only thing that people are seeing is somebody that paid attention and was disciplined enough, I guess, like you said, because I had did it for my own self, for my own body, that when the message and the download came through and it was like, yo, it's time to get ready. It's no longer time to wait. It's no longer time to contemplate. Like,
Right.
do it real time. Learn on the job. And that's where we started the first day of Saturnalia. Um, so it was the same thing. Like, and then it brought about a symbiosis when you realize that you have the same life cycle as these plants. Damn near, like we both are obeying the circadian rhythm and the circadian cycle. So it works. It works wonderfully.
For sure.
Yes.
Um, Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gods
Yes.
and goddesses,
Yes.
Moors and Moabites,
Yes.
we present to you
Yes.
the Sifu himself. For all of my Dragon Ball Z fans, it is happening. Okay? You might have seen this man on viral TikToks.
Yes.
You may have seen this man in the dojo
Yes.
fighting foes from different dimensions. You may have seen him protecting the temple.
Yes.
You may have seen him on 363 Empire.
Yes.
You may have even seen him climbing and ascending Stowe Mountain with a
Yes.
tribe behind him. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you our good brother.
Cool. Right.
Yes, you go ahead, Blue. Bring him in. I'm sure you have your intro as well.
Oh no, you did an amazing introduction.
So
Yeah,
we want to
finish.
bring to the stage our good brother, none other than Sharif Anael-Bey. Peace
Yes.
to God.
Greetings to the Grand Sheik. Us.
Us.
You hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you, but the
I
mic
can't
is a
hear
little
you.
muffled.
You can't hear us?
Check your speaker, the whatever the speaker may be for your default speaker.
Let me check something really quick.
Yeah, default speaker. Is there anything we could do on our side?
No, that's basically his speaker. He'll have to check. He'll have to make sure that his default speaker. Sometimes it does that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, between time, shout out to the KT aliens in the building.
Yes, sir.
And whatnot. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna let the God day go. Whoosh.
Good, I can hear you.
Whoosh. So wait, you didn't hear the intro?
Nah, I didn't catch the intro. I was kicking students out.
Nah, we cooked for you. We did it. Yeah. We set the stage. We set the table. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You know when they say they heard about you before you arrived?
Yeah.
We gave you one of those intros. You'll hear it on the playback though.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
In so many words, I let them know, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, Moors and Moabites. You know what I mean? You might have seen this brother going viral on TikTok, protecting the empire from foes that were trying to transgress and whatnot. You may have seen this brother in the dojo throwing around giants 3 sizes above him and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You might have tapped in with the God on 363 Empire. You may have even seen him climbing stone mountains with his whole tribe behind him, holding people up on his shoulders. It's the Sifu himself, our good brother. You may have seen him with metal face and some of the guards with the shiesties on. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, having kung fu matches in Syracuse and Buffalo and whatnot. But here he is on our stage, KTL alumni, a KTL all-star, a legend in and of himself. You know what I'm talking about? The Grand Shiek Sharif Anael-Bey.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to be back, man.
Indeed.
I love what you guys are doing. I love what you guys are doing, bro.
Thank you, good brother.
Honors.
Yes, sir. It's in line.
Likewise.
It's in line. Well. It's so much in line with like the topic tonight, the retreat that we're going to be doing in Atlanta.
Yes.
You guys are already living it. What I want to do with the retreat, it's called macrocosmic integration, and we'll get into it, why we're calling it that. But
yes,
let's just look at it like this. Let's just jump right in. Here we go. The way Prophet Noble Drew Ali said it, and I'm not trying to wax religious on anybody here. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish movement in America, he said it like this. He said, this is the end of time and the fulfilling of the prophecies. Now, mind you, we don't measure time linearly, right? This is the KT aliens. We know we measure time like this.
Yes, cycles.
So this is not the end of the world. This is not the end of America. This is the end of the America we knew.
Right.
This is the end of an age. This is the end of a cycle. You see?
Yes.
That's what this is. And this time, from the religious perspective, it's talked about Armageddon, judgment, blah, 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 all these things, right? Okay. Well, Armageddon and judgment has now a modern day equivalent that we should be familiar with. It's called disclosure. It's all the same.
Think about it.
It's all the same. Religious terminology, they call it what? After judgment comes what? The hereafter.
Hereafter.
What do we call it? Post-disclosure reality. See what I'm saying? So we want to be ahead of the curve. We want to live today as if this is post-disclosure. See, the pills are already kind of doing it. You already are living in that space. See what I'm saying? But here's the thing. You all, red pill, blue pill, you all are proof positive that disclosure is already here. Disclosure is already, see, this is what people are expecting, right? You know how we used to say back in the day about people getting spooked out by religion?
Right.
Expecting a blonde hair, a blonde stringy haired, pale skinned guy to come, surfing on a cloud.
Right.
Listen, people, that's no different than the masses waiting for flying saucers to land on the front lawn of the White House.
And to see almond-eyed grays bouncing out.
It's no different, people.
Or tall white Nordic.
There you go, brother.
Aliens. It's the
no
same.
Different. That's right.
As you said, both of them signal a paradigm shift of which, it would be a demarcation point between timelines, and then it's post whatever. And for people who are stuck in a very rigid, fragmented frame of reference about what reality is, it will be apocalyptic to the self-imposed ceiling that they have.
Yes.
Any ceiling that crashes in on you is an apocalypse to you.
Woo! Exactly, brother. Exactly. So it sounds new wave-ish, almost new wave cliche to say that, to tell the truth, right? That outer reality is nothing but projected inward perception. But that's very real. It's it's so real, right?
Right.
And what you're speaking to about paradigm is evidence of that. For instance, during the Manhattan Project days, right, when they were developing the nuclear atomic bomb, you had a number of expert demolition experts. There was one in particular, I forget his name, but he was convinced that it just wasn't going to work. He said, "I stake my reputation as an expert demolitionist on the fact this is not going to work." So what do you think he did when it actually happened?
Took himself out.
He couldn't make the paradigm shift.
Right. Yeah. So that was right. That was literally the end of his rope, because he staked everything on it and he couldn't shift.
Nah.
So,
he died on that hill.
He died on that hill.
Because the merit of what he had to offer ended there, and he waged everything on it, and then and that's a telltale sign, to translate to people: be mutable, don't go down with the ship.
Right, brother. But see, even the mutable piece, right? It dovetails into the reality of the true self, and so we need to start the process now of changing this. Start it now, because when things start to really go crazy around you, the Quran of Mecca calls that the shock of the hour. Right, where you come face to face with it. You see, it's better to be ready than have to get ready.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and I mean, that's so cliche of a statement.
Yeah.
But it cannot be more overstated, and it shows itself over and over and over again. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. You know what I'm saying? And that means different things to different people at different times.
Yes.
During these particular days and times, what do the people need to integrate themselves with in the now, let's say in the quote unquote times of peace?
Yes.
To prepare themselves for either one, the inevitable, two, the unexpected.
Yeah, brother. The inevitable and the unexpected. Matter of fact, what we want to do is expand our perception so that we nullify or at least severely mitigate the unexpected.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. We want to expand now, which is a very strong but simplified definition of initiation. If the outside world is nothing but the unfolding of our collective perception.
Yes.
That means initiation or elevation or ascension is nothing more than the accelerated expansion of our perception. without cracking our psyche in the process.
Mm.
Because listen, we New Yorkers, and we've been a part of this thing for a minute in New York. We all know people that crack their psyche in the process of consciousness expansion.
We know them. Yes, they did. It's very,
Mork
yeah.
and Mindy's. Shout out to them.
Nano. This is a very real thing, and I'm seeing aspects of it very much fragmented in the online community as well.
Yes.
Because it's an extension of a New York fingerprint in consciousness that you can skits out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You could lose your ish.
Yes.
If you're not properly grounded, and people won't take into account that in a city like New York, there is no grounding necessarily, right? So how does information become integrated? We never were introduced to information from a perspective of engaging it with a microcosmic and macrocosmic orbit in terms of integrating where you need it to be grounded or plugged in to the earth. So I explain to people, I'm like, well, New Yorkers are Romans. Very much disconnected from what nature is, and we are, for the most part, proponents of a matrix that we were not only grown in, almost acculturated like a petri dish, but we ran around the globe defending it.
Actual fact, bro.
So yeah, I'm very much interested to hear about, because then you get top heavy. The information is always gets bottled up top because it's not integrated through the soles of our feet. We weren't going into nature. We weren't holding ciphers in Central Park or Prospect Park.
Right.
We was on the concretes. But you were moving. You were into martial arts. You were moving the fluids. You knew about motion. You knew about reset.
Yes, sir. I was fortunate, brother. I was fortunate, I was fortunate to have key people, that I came across in life. Like what you were saying about the integration of information. That is key, people. Key. All of you do have or should have something that you've engaged in, whether it's at your job, your profession, or whatever, a skill that you developed over time that you did. It started with just gathering data. It started with just receiving information, but then you had to put it into practice and put it into practice, and you had to do it over and over again and over and over again. But guess what started to happen at a particular point? When you put enough time and energy doing the same thing over and over again, it began to complete the feedback loop and give you information that you were not given about it at the onset.
And right, that coming from you, I just understand that to be martial. The art of martial. It's the art of being martial. And what is being martial? Being martial is being obedient and disciplined. So being partial to me sounds a lot like Saturn.
Yeah. Well, there's Saturn there, right? Definitely Saturn is there. But now watch this. You were even, see, I thought you were going there with this one. Martial, like the color behind me, red.
Red, yes.
The word Mars. That's literally where the martial comes from. Martial means military.
Right. And yeah, we're in Aries season, but I'm saying I'm integrating in the now, but I'm still looking back. And we opened the show and I was speaking about, I started my farming in December, on December 17th on Saturnalia Day.
Saturnalia.
And it was me being obedient to the voice in my head that said, get ready, prepare now.
Now.
Yes. Now.
But see, that's also that's a Saturn thing, right?
Yes.
Saturn also deals with, as you already know, priest of the choir, even to the audience, Saturn deals with structure and order.
Yes. Let's keep telling
you know what I'm saying? Yes. And discipline.
Yes.
Those are Saturn principles, right? Now with the Mars thing too, of course, it's not just bombs and guns, and Mars is the planet of action.
Yes.
Take action.
Right. And indeed, and again, that is, my intention on reframing this conversation around martial energy, and just explaining that all of this is an extension of martial energy, is again to explain the biggest, most intense, and most protracted battle is going to take place in your mind, right?
Absolutely.
In the head. So Aries is head that Aries deals with self, which is the whole. So we identify our whole starting with our head or our capstone. It also deals with identity. And so the whole aspect of me being martial or obedient, disciplined, I have to know myself. I have to know self in order to respect self enough to say, I'm not going to be self-indulgent enough to miss this moment and be still, rather than for stimulus. Right. And then being obedient enough, once again, to listen to a voice in my head, Aries, to know self, that's me as well. And I'm tripping or being loopy, that takes a lot of discipline and trust Saturn in the father.
That's deep. Where you going with this, bro? Because it's like we have a saying. We have a saying. That's crazy. We have a saying in the More Scientific America in our literature. We say, understanding is the rock upon which man builds himself. Right? And how do we arrive at understanding? We arrive at understanding by way of reflection. And we say reflection is the business of man. A sense of his state is his first duty. You know what that really means? To oversimplify it, you lost in the theme park. You go to that one big spot that has the big map, and you look for that red dot that says what? You are
here. Right. So you can self-identify where you at on the map, then everything else falls in place.
Right.
Even if your party is all the way over there.
Yes.
At least you can create a trajectory.
Yes, sir.
And say, all right, I just gotta go this way.
Even if it's a
journey. And I think that that's what we want to convey, family, is that with these tools, with these internal and external compasses, that you can map a course to wherever. Because sometimes your destination will be completed in this lifetime, and then there's trips that I'm, engaged on that the destination will be reached in several lives.
Brother, see, once again, you and your brother, you speak the language of the hereafter. Oh, it's a part of, we want to see, that's the thing. With this retreat that we're going to do at the end of May in Atlanta, we want to take the guesswork out of ascension. We want to take the guesswork out of initiation. You see what I'm saying? And a big part of taking the guesswork out of it is one, living the life, living the instructions. And then two, receive the reciprocal. You want to know what secret lessons are? That's what secret teaching is. You get the secret instructions. And then you live them out. What you get in return is the lesson. And it's not written down. It's lived. It's a conflict that can't be told in words. You see what I'm saying? And I know that to be true for you all because first of all, I know you all, but also in this is a part of your everyday language. You ain't got to put this on like a coat. You know what I'm saying? This is part of your everyday language where, look, I'm engaged in this particular pursuit because it's something that is going to be recalled in another lifetime. How about that? See? What is the presumption here? Here it is. You ready? The presumption is that man's immortal. That's the presumption. You presume it all. See?
And
to this day.
It's thank you, man. Thank you, bro. It's they've cheated people, right? By removing the fourth layer or the fourth leg of the process.
Yes.
Where you have, because of certain aspects of dogmatic organized religion, they don't speak about reincarnation.
Right.
But yet yesterday we celebrated resurrection.
How about that?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why only bottleneck it in one experience that everyone has to observe, externalize of themselves to say, you know, he achieved it, he did it, and I'm waiting on him to come back. That is
Ooh.
remediated, the remediated return and reincarnation of an avatar, of a principle.
Come on
And
now.
these are continuous cycles that have always benefited us, that have always been with us. And that last piece of the puzzle has been removed, even though it's hidden in plain sight.
Yes.
But people can't see it because they have offset it, or you
Yes.
know, they've off ramped it to once again an externalized process to say,
Yeah.
this can only be guaranteed to you if you contract and say, you know what I'm saying, you and Jesus is X, Y, and Z. But it's like, bro, that's a natural
You
process
got it.
of energy not dying, but restructuring,
You got it.
remodeling, and resurfacing as another situation altogether.
Yes.
Then, you know, there's all of this new information where
Yes.
we point out parts of, you know, the brain that hold memory, and it shows that it's going to pop up from the past life. And then
Yes.
there's insurmountable proof of evidence that has popped up even here on YouTube with people having past life regressions,
Absolutely.
and them children that are being born into this planet that know everything about their past lives, that no one can
That's
say, oh, who put them up to this?
right.
No, it's like, no, let's learn something. Let's bear witness, right, to what I call the unification of hemispheres. A lot of people
Yes.
are fighting it now.
Yes.
Some people are disguising it as diaspora wars because they don't want to do the work. But
Mm.
we live in the Western world is influenced by Eastern principles and philosophies, yet the Western world doesn't openly embrace the East.
How about that?
But they're running off of an Eastern engine
How
by
about
way.
that? Yo, there's so much meat in what you just said, bro. Like there's 3 or 4 different presentations of lectures in just those 2 sentences. Like you said, the Western civilization is literally running off an Eastern engine, but they keep that secret. They don't want you to know that, right? And then they've corrupted the engine, which is why we're seeing what we're seeing now. We're seeing this whole thing collapse under its own fat right now.
Yes.
We're watching it collapse. You see what I'm saying? And it's because they corrupted it. They added something on top. It's like, you know, putting bad gas in your car. You know, you inherit a nice car and you start putting bad gas in it and
Right.
not the right kind of stuff in your car.
Yeah, you got a Beamer and that takes premium, and you
Right.
up in there, you putting unleaded.
Wondering why you sputtering.
Yeah, you got it for free at that. Somebody
Right,
donated. You
right.
just had to buy for the extra gas, but you
Exactly.
still, you know what I'm saying, didn't do that. And again, we could even see, because it can go into a myriad of different ways. We could
Yes.
say Western world is run from an Eastern philosophical standpoint based on organized religion. We could
Yes.
say the Western world is run from a scientific aspect, even though they want to, you know, say it as such, because the template is there, but the removal of spirit
You
or the
got it.
of the totality of that dynamic,
Ooh.
rigidly Western. But then now we're understanding economically, right? With straighter home moves, they're telling you that there's a part of the Eastern world, and they have the nerve to call it the Middle East at that.
Isn't that something?
Right? That is also responsible for the economic efficacy or viability or virility of whatever's going on over here. You
Yes.
could say the strait, but you could also say Asia by way of China. You know what I'm saying? You could also say the continent by way of Khotan, right?
Woo.
Regardless of how we fight this thing,
Yes.
I have a tendency to say that we're connected to nothing but tethered to everything.
Yes.
There's a unification as a whole, The only way that we're able to do what we do is because it's an expression of the unification of the whole.
That's
Everything
a fact.
goes into this.
That's right. But see, once again, you're demonstrating, functional understanding of key core principles that, like you said, are hiding in plain view. Like, let's take religion. Let's take my religion, right? Islamism. There's the religion, which is really instructions.
Yes.
Then there's a narrative, an overreaching narrative placed on top of it. So for instance, let's take Christianity. Does Christianity, at least the Christianity we know, I have to say it that way, because our brothers in Abyssinia, aka Ethiopia, think different, right?
They was going in yesterday.
Right. But like, as we know it in the West, Christianity, do they believe in reincarnation? No. Okay, fine. What is their book of instructions? The Bible. Cool. Well, in the Gospels, when the Gospels are speaking about John the Baptist getting beheaded, Jesus was an initiate under John the Baptist. He was initiated by John. He was baptized by him. See?
Yes.
So he was initiated by his own first cousin. Okay, hold on. His disciples, the Gospels record, his disciples ran down on Jesus and tried to G-check him, basically like, yo, he just got killed. What's good? What we doing? Jesus checked them. And then at the end of checking them, said, y'all don't even know who he was. He was Elijah come again. Wait a minute. I thought Christians didn't believe in reincarnation. See that? But see, there's things that are biblical,
right,
that are not quite Christian. How about that? So that's an overreaching narrative that was placed on the teaching. So if you're listening more to the narrative than you are digging it out for yourself, you get it?
Yes.
And that's where we are here. Like in the More Science Simple American. Again, I'm not here to wax religious, but we have the Holy Quran and More Science Simple American. This well, wait a minute. If you're Muslims, why don't you just use the Quran everybody else uses? We do, but we're a different people. Understand? We're a people. What people do you know, other than our people in America, that had to be taught who they were? So we have to first, before we can pick up that Bible, pick up that Quran, we have to first put on the mindset of our forefathers. See what I'm saying? However you do it.
Right.
But you got to pick up the pre-colonization mindset. Pre-colonization mindset. Right. Then, so when the Quran of Mecca is talking about hell, or the Bible's talking about hell, okay, ask yourself, what did your forefathers and foremothers call hell or heaven? A state of mind. A state of mind. See? Not some place you go after you physically leave your flesh. That's how your forefathers thought. Pre-slavery. See what I'm saying? So narrative is the secret, people. It always is. Narrative is the secret, and it's who controls narrative controls how people think.
Absolutely.
That's why they had to hijack Jesus and flip and bounce Jesus. Whether you believe in him as a historical figure or not is irrelevant. It is the story. If you know anything about archetypal psychology, Carl Jung, this will make sense. Carl Jung recognized, after taking a sabbatical and doing some inner work, that there are patterns in his mind that are not of his creation. These are deep primordial patterns. And this goes back to what Blue was saying earlier about proof that you were here before. Epigenetics. Genetic memory. Memory of what? From where? See? There's proof of that. We have actual now scientific proof, epigenetics, that you have pre-birth memory.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? All right.
Yes.
So this is so it's who controls the narrative. If somebody tells you and you believe them that You came to this earth and your beginning was when you came out of your mother's womb. They just shrunk your world to this big. And they shrunk your thinking to this big. Meaning your thinking, your thought process starts at natal and ends at mortem. You will ignore the evidence that you had a prenatal existence and you will have a post-mortem existence. Narrative is always, this is with the war we're in right now, is a war of narratives. Even the physical conflict with the United States and Iran is a war of narratives, people.
It is.
The greatest efforts here ain't with the bombs. The greatest
Super facts.
Information and data control.
Super facts.
Straight up.
The narration war, escalation
It's
to narration.
Thank you, Brother Red and Brother Sharif, for outlining something that at this point in time is undeniable, right? Yeah, somebody said eschatology. That's part of the narrative.
Yes.
But even with the frame, even with this incident that took place this past weekend, right?
Yes.
They said if they could not control that narrative, not even necessarily if they could rescue the pilot, but if the narrative got out of control, then that would have been the nail in the coffin.
Yes.
Not so much if they paraded homie, because then if they captured homie, then they were going to create a narrative around that.
Yes.
And their ability to have a body, right, that they can be mutable with, to mutate the narrative.
Come on now.
Right? Put the narrative in jeopardy. So regardless of what the truth was about how the rescue operation took place, it was so important for them to what? Upsell the narrative that they did something G.I. Joe-ish.
But listen, it's to that point, and I'll just throw this out there. Word on the street was that the original plan was to, once the U.S. got him, was to murder the pilot and blame it on Iran. That's the word on the street.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
How's that for narrative control?
Create a narrative.
Yes.
A multiplicity of narratives.
Right.
Conjure an emotion.
Yes.
Also, minimize or mitigate his version of the narrative conflicting with their version of the narrative.
Correct.
Because they wouldn't even release a name or a picture, at least.
Ain't that something, bro?
Again, so I have never in a lifetime seen this amount of control of a narrative come to a pinnacle with one weekend.
Right.
Because then you've seen Kanye resurrected, right, based on him attempting to control the narrative and the price that comes to pay with attempting to wrestle the narrative from the very people historically who have done everything in their power to gain hold of the narrative, mold the narrative, and control the narrative.
Correct.
Because it's a story about them that they don't want to be told, but the story about you, they insisted they have to be the ones to tell it.
They got to be the ones to tell it, bro. And see, that's deep what you just said right there as it relates to our people here in America, right? It's like, okay, here we go. The whole civilized world in the United Nations says, yes, the African transatlantic slave trade was the gravest crime to humanity ever. And the United States, Argentina, and Israel say, we can't rock with that. The United States specifically, their excuse was, well, slavery was legal when we did it. So we can't call it a crime against humanity. You know how crazy that is? But it goes back to a refusal. Here, let's decode that real quick for everybody. That statement, they said, well, slavery was legal during that time, so we can't agree that it was a crime against humanity. Here's the decoded phrase. We have every right to handle our Negroes the way we see fit. That's what that is.
Well, yes, absolutely. I I always say around election year that presidency is about domestic nigga containment,
Facts. Yeah.
and that sets the tone and the pace of the policy for foreign policy or what have you.
Yes.
Um, so yes, and this administration has every tendency once again to control the narrative, and the narrative that is overlapping and coinciding at the same time is the 14th Amendment birthright citizen narrative. This
Yo.
the Supreme Court, which we should be impaneled as students of civics,
Have to be. Have
right?
to.
To speak about what's taking place,
Have
and
to.
how all of these jumper cables and wires are touching one another.
Yes.
These are very interesting times. So yes, by any and all means, with every intention that they have to reinstitute and
Yes.
re-engage that process,
Yes.
they're like, yeah, why would we knock a hustle that we're looking to amplify times 10?
There you go.
Because,
There you go.
I've seen the new monetary situation laid out.
Yes.
I know what the digital dollar 2.0 is bringing. And yeah, this is an unprecedented level of
Brother, we are in uncharted territory right now.
right. So the dichotomy of it for people looking for redress from something that happened, potentially generations ago,
Yes.
while being almost almost being totally oblivious to what's coming down the pipeline
Yes.
or what's taking place in real time in these institutions.
Yes.
Speak specifically to people standing in society. You would just think that there was more conversation or interest around these topics.
It goes back, what it goes back to, brother, and I agree 100%. But again, remember where you and Red are, and you are living the post-disclosure life to a lot, not 100%, but to a large extent, right? Which means, okay, as opposed to the people, like you said, there's, you would think that there'd be a lot more energy amongst us behind this thing, right? The reason it's not is because we accepted those teachings, brother. We accepted them. As bad as we'll complain about the current conditions in America, for us, we're used to it. We expect it.
Very much.
An object at rest tends to stay at rest unless acted upon by a superior force. So that means, whether we want to admit it or not, many of us are vested in the current conditions, bro. And they're going to change.
Because I've been doing this poetry series the whole month of April. Can you repeat that last sentence? Object.
An object at rest tends to stay at rest unless acted upon by a superior force.
That's gonna be the opening to my next magnum opus right there.
Yo, but that's what it's gonna take for us. Sadly, now again back to the the retreat, the macrocosmic integration retreat is for those.
Get a location.
Atlanta. We don't have the exact location yet, but we're looking at a couple. But it's going to be in It's going to be in around the Midtown Atlanta area where it's kind of artsy. Yeah, easy to get to. Yep. I'll be announcing the location by the end of this week. Most likely be announcing the location by the end of this week. But again, it's for those who inside feel. See, there's outside change, there's inside change. Man is the universe in miniature. The universe is a what? Macrocosmic man. You see? And so
he said,
if you're feeling that stirring up and you feeling the change comes, I'll quote Lao Tzu, wrote the Tao Te Ching.
Yes.
Okay. well, before him, I'll quote somebody else, says the greatest of human is to be immutable. Immutable, unchanging. But now there's a trick to that. Lao Tzu gives the code breaker. We want to be unchanging, right? Solid, immutable. But Lao Tzu says it this way: to change with change is the changeless state. To change with change is the changeless state. That is how you not only survive a shift in paradigms, but you thrive in the midst of it.
So do you want to explain that to them through example? Like what would that look like?
Here it is. Watch this. Let's use a martial arts. Let's use a martial arts analogy.
Please.
Somebody throws a punch. You may have some training or some experience. That punch is coming to the right side of my head. You see? So I know how to what? React to the action. But I don't care how sharp, how pristine, how well-timed a reaction is, it's still a what? Reaction. Means what? You are in the past, not in the now. The now only happens when you meet. See that?
Right.
Okay. What if I was already touching that individual? That means there is no reaction. Whatever they do, I'm with them. We're in the perpetual now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I'm changing with the change.
Right.
There's no lag time, hopefully not. But if you're looking in a mirror between you moving and the reflection moving, if there's lag time, get rid of that mirror. You know what I'm saying? But there should be no lag time. See that? Change with change. But the prerequisite to that is what? You can see the change. Right. Not just see that there is a change coming, but what the change actually is.
Right. So then now that comes into, again, because all of this is speaking about being martial.
Yes.
And I appreciate this conversation because it's in the season of Aries.
Yes.
And I'm an Aries rising.
Yes, sir.
So what form of martial arts is this called where, you know, one is one with the flow and the movements rather than
that's a great question, brother. So here it is. And the answer is not simple. So it's not a particular form of martial art. What you're speaking about is a particular level of martial expertise. Bruce Lee tried to name it and then regretted he named it. The Chen family, right, in China gave it a name, gave that level a name, right? And then regretted it. Here's why. They gave the name Tai Chi. Tai Chi literally means grand ultimate. It wasn't talking about their style. It was talking about the level they were seeking to achieve. See, where you were in the perpetual now. There's another style called Xing Yi. In Chinese, it means form and intent boxing. In other words, your physical expression perfectly mirrors the idea in your head and in your heart. See? Highest level. See what I'm saying? Bruce Lee called it Jeet Kune Do, right? Intercept, way of the intercepting. In other words, no reaction. You do something and then react. You do something, you punch and I block. Okay, not good enough. You punch, I avoid, not good enough. You punch and I block and counter simultaneously. Now we're getting somewhere. You punch and I interrupt your command to punch with my own idea. That's intercept. See? Speaking of a level of development, a level of understanding. You know, a level to where, here it is, to where you recognize that you can affect your outer circumstances. It's really changing how we think. You see, that's what it is. But it takes action. But see, we don't think, watch this, we don't think thought is in action. We think thought is a make-believe thing. We think thought is just like a prerequisite something. Why? Because we believe we are our flesh.
Right.
That's why. Now watch this. They make Jesus into an alien, not a human being.
Mm-hmm.
They make him into an alien or make him something other than human, to my point.
Right.
So it's hopeless to try to imitate him.
Right.
Then they can sell you a socio-political Jesus, like they did with Zionism.
Like they're doing.
They can sell you a socio-political Jesus that locks you right back in the flesh and thinking that salvation is based on geopolitics.
Like they're doing with Trump. Right.
Straight like that. Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a genius machination for a mind, you know what I'm saying, that either is too lazy to grow or doesn't have the discipline.
Yes.
So, you know, what are the prerequisite for one to position themselves to be in this martial receiving? How can one acclimate themselves to this martial law to be in the now and presently present?
The simple answer is initiation. But what is initiation? Let's talk about it, because that's one of the things we're going to be dealing with in the retreat. Initiation, I'm going to be very detailed about it. We have left brain and we have right brain. Now, a lot of this is old hat to your audience, but let's review it real quick. Right brain is connected to the universe. It knows everything already. It has access to everything. Left brain is your 3D filter. That's your 3D filter. Right brain, oversimplified, intuition. Left brain, intellect. Okay? This is something to write down what I'm about to say, this part right here. The job of the intellect is not to replace the intuition, which is what's happened in the West. Mm-hmm. The job of the intellect is to interpret intuition. Let's give it a more detailed definition. What do you mean by interpret the intuition? The job of the intellect is to determine what higher dimensional energies that come to us by way of right brain that we can use in 3 dimensions. For instance, now what are we talking about? Social structures. We're talking about consensus reality. This is why special black budget programs that deal with psionics so that they can hijack UFO/UAPs. They go to people that live in so-called third world countries that are less urban and more rural. Why? Because their psychological catalytic converters aren't present. That's why more extrasensory and supersensory things happen in the country.
In the rural.
And not in the city. It's American gods, for real, people. It's American gods. The old gods died because the people forget about them and don't feed them with thought energy.
Literally. I was reading a book, right? And the book was about the continent. And this book, the author was saying, you guys in the West don't know nothing about how we perceive ancestral worship in the East on the continent. And they were like, you know, this whole concept of what an ancestor is and what an ancestor isn't has gotten out of control.
Yes.
And they simply was like, you know, if you don't, there's 2 abodes, you know, where the ancestors are present that are still remembered. So in order for you to remember an ancestor, they have to be mindful on your mind, and you have to speak on their name, and then summon them into this reality or reality of the living. The ancestor abode is reality of the dead, or the names that are not called, and the ones that no longer, thought of. They're not at the forefront. They're not part
Right.
of reality. The reality, the light bulb comes on in the neocortex, right, by way of hippocampus memory. And if you're not engaging that, if we're not hitting those nodes or those notes, then those ancestors dissipate and go into the abode of the unknown.
Brother, you know
That's
what you're describing right now? I'm going to tell you how I'm going to use different wording to describe to repeat what you just said that we're going to be dealing with in late May. Here it is. Let's use the example of the planet Mars. Right? Now, in real astrology, like esoteric astrology, hermetics, we're not talking about the physical planets. Those are three-dimensional shadows of higher reality. So we say the planet Mars, from that perspective, we mean the Martian sphere. We mean a sphere of experience. And there are thoughts related to that sphere. Thoughts are things. They are living things.
yes.
All right. So when you are in the mindset of Martian energy, when you're bringing it to the forefront of your consciousness, in our order, in this particular order, we call that Martian invasion. Because now the Martians get to express themselves on Earth through your flesh.
I love it. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope perspective.
Yes.
And I also, to double up on that, when I was being taught Bakwa, also being taught the difference between prefrontal and crown consciousness.
Yes.
And these were all for purposes of visualization.
Correct.
How can I tap into that available latent force in the universe? And they said that modern society will have you think that it's here in terms of thinking, intellect, and it's not intuitive in terms of the crown through the chakra. It's no thinking. Now is it's receiving, and then you think after the fact. You bring it here to do what? Make sense of it. As you said, use the intellect to decipher the intuition.
Got it.
In my human design, I'm an open crystal, right?
Yeah.
I'm a projector. My human design is open crystal, which means that I don't have a defined crystal. I get downloads and I'll say it. Now think about it first, like almost as if I'm freestyling.
Yes.
And then the way that my human design is set up as a projector, when I hear myself say it, if I sentience, if I feel it,
yes,
then it's real.
Then it's real. Then it's real, bro. Yes. See, what you're doing, this is so deep, right? So one of the things we're going to be doing, people, on the retreat, it's going to be 3 parts of the instruction, and each one is going to be very detailed. There's internal alchemy, external alchemy, and macrocosmic integration by way of true initiation. The initiation that you're going to learn about is to reintegrate souls with what we call the Afro-Atlantean current.
Repeat that, bro.
So, the head of the current hierarchy of this order,
yes,
in the year 1966, moved the headquarters of the order from Haiti to the south side of Chicago. The reason he did it was to broadcast into the higher dimensions through their operations in Chicago to attract the soul of the old Atlantean priesthood that, according to him, this is what he says publicly, are now reincarnated in America in the bodies of African and mixed African European descent. Yeah.
You said, and this is, who is this individual?
Michael Berdio.
He's still with us?
He still is. I was just with him in this past September. You guys might be familiar with this book.
Ooh. Oh, you wild? Okay.
Yeah. What I just said, he says that in this book.
Somebody just say, Ye told us about that bar in Mars. And automatically I'm thinking about the fact that Chicago was founded by, a fellow Haitian.
That's right, Dusable.
Thinking about all the aliens that I know that come out of the Chi-Town.
Yes.
So I'm like, wow, that is unprecedented.
Isn't that crazy, bro?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Now hold on, watch this. Remember back earlier in this conversation, we were talking about how Western civilization is built on the backs of old world and old world Eastern civilization, and we still use the tools?
Yes.
Follow me. I'm going to do a presentation. Shout out to Sheik 7 Let's Think podcast. This upcoming Wednesday, we're going to talk about Western civilization was founded by, and we're going to give all the receipts. Western civilization was founded by an African Islamic political power. This guy here, Michael Berdio, told me personally when I became a member of the order. He said, he said, your name is Bey, are you a Moor? I said, yes. Know what he said? Now, mind you, he's European. Know what he said? He said one of the avatars of our order was a Moor. Averroes was his anglicized name. Averroes. His real name was Ibn Rushd.
Ibn Rushd.
And so Averroes is an avatar of the order, and Avicenna. Avicenna is anglicized for the name Abu Sina. These two men lived in Andalusia, ancient Spain.
Yes.
During the rule of the African power over Europe, the Moroccan Empire. Hold on. These individuals are the ones that are responsible for introducing the West to ancient Greek culture and science. It is how the Europeans later hijacked that identity as their own. That's a fact.
Y'all gonna be laying this out at this event?
Yes. Absolutely.
So what's the date?
Absolutely.
You know that we're working on a location. What is the exact date that you have for this?
Oh, we're looking at either the 3rd or the 4th week in May. And the reason we're looking at 3rd or 4th week in May is because instead of the earlier in May, it's because our brother Billy Carson wants to possibly attend. But he's going to be in Sedona in the 1st weekend in May.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I want to go back to Sedona.
Yeah. Woo. No, y'all was out there doing some art here. I saw the crystal shops.
Yeah. Sedona was another level altogether.
Yes.
Again, speaking about this Martian energy and the red clay, and I did the canyon hike barefooted. 4 miles. And I mean, the dirt was as light as powder, like baby powder.
Wow.
And it's almost like a cooling system was coming up from the ground through the dirt. It was so outside was hot.
That's crazy.
Outside was baking.
Yeah.
But the actual dirt, it was cool. So calm, and it was so cool, and it was soft. And I just remembered, just once again, just getting downloads and walking through that land and just taking in the whole aspect of how antiquated and how many lives and just how many realities have been experienced and expressed here. How many times over has this been done? And then I'm forcing my mind to open up and receive this, right? Appreciation for time and time cycles. To say, you got to break out of this mold. You just passing through this thing.
Right.
But you grabbing all of the relics down that remind you that you done passed through this thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
Beating on your head to wake up a version of you that's inside of you that's dormant in sleep, that is the ultimate single eye, that done seen it all from the past and the future.
Come on, brother. Yo,
and
see, that's wild what you're
all
saying.
Of that without going crazy.
Listen, Mo, you, bro, you're definitely giving people a precursor to that weekend. Because,
to this day.
Okay, so
to this day.
One of the
to this day.
One of the objectives, we say that man is a microcosmic universe, and the universe is a macrocosmic man. In ancient Kemet, they would say man is a mortal God and God is an immortal man. What we want to do, if the universe is the macro and man is the micro, the work of masterminds in this respect is to blur the lines between micro and macro.
Yes.
So if I got, here, watch this. This is part of the initiation. Literally, look close. I want everybody to see.
Yes. Ooh.
That's the crown. That's in our body of initiation. For the first year, this represents the crown point.
Oh.
So if this crown point has a it's in my body, but it has a corresponding macrocosmic connection.
Yes.
Then our work, this is a little gear, that's a big gear. Our work is to put the gears together. So when I spin the little gear, the big gear turns.
I can
see what I'm saying?
No, I literally can see what you're saying.
Yes.
I can visualize it in my mind, and I have an appreciation as I'm a free imaginative thinker. I don't apologize for my imagination and my ability to visualize. I'm adamant about, I have my 5-year-old imagination intact.
Yes.
So I wholeheartedly see what, because again, I'm the 10-year-old that was watching Kung Fu that wanted to be the monk with the 3 dots and the hair.
Yeah, man.
You can ask Fred. I was ready to go.
Yes, sir.
I was ready to go. Right? Why? Because they spoke to my imagination. What part of it? The discipline part. Why? Because even at that age, I realized that whatever I potentially wanted to achieve, I had to be willing to pay a price for it. And the price that I saw being paid, I was just like, I need that. I need that discipline.
Bro, you're an initiate. Listen. Bro, what you just described just there. All right, here we go. Here's another stage, a set of stages for initiation. Follow me. And again, these are all things we're going to go over in detail. Oh, and that date, I got a date. May 22nd through the 25th.
Okay.
May 22nd through the 25th. Those are the dates. Now, we have what we call first shadow work, second shadow work, third shadow work. Let's use you as an example, bro. Mm-hmm. You at 10 years old was like, yo, you saw Master Killer, right? Lau Carfe, Gordon Liu, right? Get the dots on his joint and go through the train. Yo, it's like, man, I got to do that. Okay, boom. And we talked about something about imagination. This is where we start. Because imagination is not just a tool. Imagination's a spaceship. Absolutely. It really is. But even imagination has to be disciplined. Mm-hmm. It has to be trained. So we start with imagination. That's first shadow work. That's belief. I think it could be this. I'd like it to be this. I think it's this. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
The next stage is second shadow work. You know what we do second shadow work, dear brother? We go into the real matrix. We go into the dream state.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way. I mean, there's other ways, but I'm using this one. We go into the dream state, but we train our dream self. We train a portion of our waking consciousness to be able to go into the dream. In other words, it's jacking in.
Mm-hmm.
We train a part of our conscious waking self to be able to enter into the dream state, and then train it to where it can voluntarily and purposely change things in the dream state at will.
Okay, so are we speaking about being lucid?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And there are means and methodologies, you're saying, within the training to show one how to be intentional in dream state and move things around?
There's many methods. The method I'm thinking of right now is the method of scrying, or the use of magical mirrors, but you have to first know how to construct them,
Mm-hmm.
which we have that technology as well, right? How to construct the magical mirrors and then the use of them, right? So even with the, okay, I'll share this. I'll share it. Here we go. And these are things that we don't really share in public. Here it is. Let's take you have a magic mirror. You have a black mirror, properly constructed. First shadow work. You gaze into the mirror, and you're not looking for anything in particular. You're looking, of course, you see your image, but I guarantee you, you're going to see your image shift. You're going to see it change. So first shadow work is just to observe the changes in your image, not be attached to anyone. That's first shadow work. When you're good at that, second shadow work is what we call stabilizing the image. You pick one of those shifts and you stabilize it, and you hold it in the mirror.
I love it.
Third shadow work, you look into the mirror and there's no image at all. Now you entered into that spot where Neo was in, where Morpheus took him in, where it was just all white.
Yes.
This is the loading. This is the loading phase.
Right.
That's it. That's where the real quote unquote magic happens, is in that spot. See, I'll let out another secret. One of the things that was known in old science that now, Western world put us to sleep on, when there's a difference between looking and seeing. Seeing is just how the eye operates anyway, how your senses operate. Your senses don't operate this way. Your senses operate this way. This background behind me is only red because it's made of a substance that absorbs every other frequency, and frequency is a vibration of energy, except for one frequency. And that frequency is reflected onto your eye, which is sent to your ocular cavity, sent to your optic nerve, and in your brain, it is interpreted as red, meaning it's not red out here, it's red in here.
Yeah, right.
So that is seeing, allowing the light to come into the eye. Looking is you sending your will out. Listening is allowing the sounds to come in. Hearing is you send your will out.
I'm about to go somewhere with you.
See?
Oh man. We had a guest on the program years ago. An individual named Nityama. And Nityama's other name was the Tantric Mongoose, right?
Okay.
Nityama was a direct student of Osho.
Okay, gotcha.
Right?
Yes.
Nityama, there's not too many like Nityama. So Nityama was making women have multiple orgasms without physical touch.
No touch.
But he knew how to strum the latent energy fields that are around women.
Yes.
He knew how to manipulate and maneuver those.
Yes.
And make the woman go into high states of ecstasy, right?
Excitation, yep.
Excitation. So I remember the first show we did with him. I remember where I was at. I was coming from Expo West. So I was in Anaheim, California, across the street from Disney World, waiting at the bus stop. And I'm speaking to this brother, and he's blowing my mind. I remember
Right.
where I was at, because I visualized that moment. So he
Right.
was telling me, he was like, I feel bad for women with very large post exteriors. And I was like,
Yes.
why is that? He said, every time that a man visualizes um their glutamus maximus, if you will,
Yes.
shooting their intention into them, and he said that all those were forms of subtle forms of R.
Mm.
Great. So he said, "It's so many women that we can't see their energy fields, but they have all of these attachments,
Yes.
and some of them have all of these gaping holes in their aura based on
Yes.
penetration that
Yes.
taking place with man's visualization, channeling his intention
Yes.
on her,
Yes.
and it impact almost like craters in the moon." I was like, "Oh,
Woo! That's an individual. Listen, people. I mentioned this on a video a few days ago. That's crazy. Remember what I said about initiation is all about expanding your perception, because perception is power.
yes,
Expanding your perception without cracking or shattering your psyche in the process. I give this example all the time. What do we call light? Light, what do we call light? Light is what we can see. It's
right,
electromagnetic energy that falls within the visible spectrum.
yes,
It's anything between ultraviolet and infrared,
infrared,
right?
right,
But if it's electromagnetic energy, that means in the greatest, if we were not to limit it from human perception,
hmm
that means gamma rays and x-rays are also light.
absolutely,
Okay. What if we could expand our human perception beyond ultraviolet and infrared? What other things would we see?
a lot,
He's able to see things beyond ultraviolet and infrared.
yes,
So he could see the auras. He could see the, okay. This is something else that initiation does. It unlocks these latent abilities.
hmm
See, to where you can look at, listen, I knew a woman, she passed away. If she hadn't passed away, I would give her name and address in northern New Jersey. Chinese woman who was a Christian, who she practiced Qigong, but she said, well, I just call it praying. Okay, fine. But let me tell you how good she was. You walk into her clinic and she could see your blockages and your disease.
hmm
She could see it and go, you have a blockage here and it's causing this problem, this problem, this problem. You want me to fix it for you?
hmm
She was that good.
got that good.
Yeah, she was that good. She could
So
see.
yes, and shout out to the tantric mongoose shit. I
Yeah,
saw
that
some.
he had that's ability right there.
Yes,
Because again, this is the physical, and I've said this before on KTL. I ask this question a lot because I want to shock people into right thinking. Because remember, that's another part of it. We're not in our right mind. I ask this question, and the question itself is flawed. But I ask this question,
hmm
right? Is your soul inside your body or outside your body? And of course, and people start thinking, oh, it's inside or it's outside or it's both or it's da 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 da. Even if you say it's both, that's close to right, but it's still not correct. I'm going to tell you why. Because the phrasing of the question implies that your body has a soul, and that's backwards. Your soul has a body.
body. Ugh.
See?
Ugh.
Yeah, your soul has a body. So your soul body is way bigger than this.
Right.
And your spirit body ain't got no. Your spirit body is omnipotent, people. It
Mm,
doesn't recognize or respect distance or time.
mm.
Now imagine being able to put a part of your waking consciousness into your spirit body. Know what that would mean, people? The ultimate in initiation, meaning you have achieved non-locality while in the flesh.
And what's the illest thing that I can think of that verifies what it is that you are saying and what Tantric Mongoose shared with us years ago is
Mm-hmm.
And I know this from being in the streets of New York. I know this from being in Harlem specifically. We would be on the block, and brothers would be hitting the woman's glutamus with the X-ray vision.
Right.
And the son would turn around out of nowhere. They'd be having the little ones, right?
Immediate.
Little shorty would turn around immediately and look you right in and cut the gaze.
Yes.
Think about it like you hitting it with the X-ray vision,
right?
And that X-ray vision is creating pockmarks in her moon. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Her literal sun comes and blocks those visions,
blocks the rays, bro,
and looks you right in your eye where the ray is coming from. And if you are not a certified a-hole,
right,
you gonna be like, damn, little shorty.
Yeah, you gonna avert your gaze real quick.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, look, he shortcuts the whole mechanism of the X-ray. He shut it whole. And you're like, damn, shorty on it. Like, how did he know? He got his whole back turn. He turned right. So he's connected to that energy field, and he feels a disruption in the field. But why does he acknowledge it? Because
mom, and especially if that child is 7 years, especially if that child is 7 years or younger.
Younger, right? That's what I'm saying. You're penetrating her energy body, and the little ones, they're always 7 or younger. I ain't talking about the mother.
And you know why? Because like this, for the reason I generally don't teach children younger than 7. Why? Because this is psychology 101. They're still psychologically attached to the mother's umbilical cord. They can't see a difference between them and their mom. Yeah. It's at 7 when they start doing this to mom. I got it, mom. I got it, mom. See?
Right.
Yep. Right. It's at 7 when, now from an esoteric perspective, from esoteric and occult genetics or biology, there is such a thing, right? From the esoteric biological perspective, the indwelling ego is not fully constructed into the child until age 7. See, that's the story of, so they go, oh, I'm naked. In other words, they became self-aware.
Self-aware, right.
They see themselves as an individual.
Yeah, they're going, as the Jesuits say, and as science, has taught the first 7 years, it is the development of the subconscious mind.
Yes.
Operate the body for 95% of the life. Although I'm willing to amend these statements and these concepts, because the individual that you had on Brother Rich's channel, I forget his name. It was last year.
Yes. Randy Wittenheimer.
He was reshuffling and restructuring some of these concepts to say that there's only one consciousness, and I liked what I heard.
Yes.
But I do know, the whole aspect of programming and programming children, the first 7 years, they're memorex, they're sponges. So they're pulling in, magnetizing all of this information and now crystallizing, solidifying, forming. The sutras are closing up. Again, that their open crystal is closing up now, right? The sutras of their heads are solidifying, and it's becoming a closed system. And that conversation that is engaged in your body is going to be looping. And that's where the majority of your decision making consciously will be coming from, your subconscious programming or rearing.
Yes.
So, and then it's recommended that they say swap it out. They like after year 7, the child be with the man, the father.
Got it, brother.
You know what I'm saying? And these are balanced. This is a balanced methodology about how to properly rear a child. This is not a political statement. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, it's not political.
Yeah, it's just a science.
But guess what? It should, and in the old ancient days, inform sociopolitics.
Right, inform. No, I'm just saying, like, in this perspective, because when we talk about male and female relationships, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? It
touches a nerve.
It touches a nerve.
Yes.
So I don't want to be like, I'm telling you, and this isn't. I'm just saying that it has been scientifically proven that based on biochemistry, right,
Yes.
this is what's taking place.
That's fact. That's right, brother. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you know, last year and the year prior, you came onto the scene,
Yes.
and you differentiated a lot of conversations that were taking place because you came with empirical proof, you came with primary sources,
Yes, sir.
and you came with an approach that was, you know, very much needed at that time.
Yes, sir.
We saw something take place the other day that has created a lot of conversation online.
Yes.
And again, it lends to perception. It lends to, you know, what will it take for a person to trust not only what they're seeing, but what they're being told. So ear and eye, you know, how can one unify, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When signals are being sent your way and information is being exposed to you and things are being shown to you.
Yes.
So people seen Artemis 2 the other day and they seen it off and you know, the selling point with me is like, just like with the Challenger, they had a melanated person on board.
Yes.
And I'm gullible to the degree I just be like, man, my folks ain't gonna lie to me. Yeah, I automatically think that there's an aspect of truth in it if we're involved. You know,
Yes.
maybe I'm naive to that degree, but I love my people. I love seeing
I was just about to say, bro, it's this love of us, bro. It's love of us.
I love when we involved. I love even when they're trying, you know, but when I see us, I know that that's meritocracy, right? I know that position is well earned. I know that that person has defied so many odds.
Yes.
And so vicariously, yes, I love to see it because it's a part of me.
It's a
pressurized carbon.
Right.
Pressurized carbon.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Crystallized carbon. You know
Yes.
what I mean? I love to see it because, like you said, trauma is not a quote unquote trauma is not a badge of dishonor, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
You know, piezoelectricity is trauma in action. You know what I'm saying?
It's pressure.
Pressure is pressure. And you know, there's you know, it's when you look at a diamond, it's really how you see it. Pressure bust pipe, or it makes a diamond. So that's literally the same thing taking place, but it's all perspective.
Or cold pressed oil.
Yo, listen,
cold pressed oil.
Yo, you came in perfect with that one. I'm gonna again back to initiation, right? Initiation is ordeal, and we must make the ordeal severe.
Look, spirituality is quote unquote pressure.
Yeah.
In order to spirituality is a rites of passage.
Yes.
People signed up for spirituality and thought that it was polygamy.
Ain't that something?
Remember the spirituality starter pack? It was a yoni steam.
It was a yoni egg. It was.
It
was a bundle. Not the waist beads.
Yoni egg, right?
Oh yeah, yoni egg.
Oh,
yeah, the waist beads was in the plastic, right?
Right. Some beaties and whatnot.
Right.
A sage wrap. Yeah, the sage starter pack with the dragons. You might get the dragon blood sage. You feel me? Woo. An amethyst stone.
Oh no. Oh,
amethyst stone.
The beads. Oh.
Right. And the waist beads.
Yeah.
Like how they got the electors. They got the waist beads. Yeah, starter pack.
Wow.
Right. They took the electors off the neck and made it waist beads.
Oh my God. They made it waist beads. Yo, wildin'. But listen, it's you know, initiate. That's the initiate. See, okay, watch this. Without, we say in the Mortian Civil America, without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. And thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. In other words, that's the only way humanity elevates is through pressure. That's the only way. But guess what?
Mutables, man. He said thought is
developed by the exercise of strength.
Man, that's dope.
That's it. So watch. So think about it. The story of Adam and Eve, and this is all a part of true initiation. Again, changing your left brain to accommodate more right brain data. That's it. So we have to reorient your filters. So the story of Adam and Eve, as we're told, as it's told to us, put a major filter on us. Put a major filter. You've got Adam and Eve and two in a garden. They can eat everything in the garden except one tree. And that one tree is most likely right next to the other tree called the tree of life. Tree of knowledge, good and evil. Can't eat from that tree. What kind of trick is God playing on humanity? That's we all know how. Come on, man.
You know what though? And listen to this, because again, downloads, right? From being intentional and being still. So, you know, I get into my Pope Pablo.
Yes, sir.
And I was going through the knowledge and the information, and I'm always looking for ways to decipher the information rather than throw it out.
Right.
I'm like, it's here and we already have it, and it's already templated.
Yes.
How can I tweak the template to make it make more sense?
Come on now.
So I said, well, maybe God didn't want her eating the apple because it got a worm in it. And I said, what's the oldest? I said a worm is older than the serpent, but a parasite is older than a worm. So so God is saying that my information or connection directly to you is going to be, because what is Shaitan is considered to be what? The deceiver,
right?
But the one who cackles in your ear,
right?
Parasites have that intelligence to do those things.
That's a fact.
So if she ate the parasite, then she was gonna have what? A whole nother internal dialogue and conversation.
She ingested another intelligence. See, but here's the thing, though. I gotta say this about you two, brother. Y'all are similar to me in a certain respect, not the same way. Here, I would say it. Shout out to Mama Pill. Y'all came into the world with an alternative narrative, my guy.
Oh yeah. Mama was already establishing. Her spin cycle was already spinning.
Yeah, man. So you're already trying to rework the narrative that you were fed from the wrong narrative. You already see that's most of us did what? Accepted it and then allowed it to work on our psyche. So it made us scared to death of real progress. Why? Because real progress is always on the other side of struggle. Adam and Eve getting kicked out of the garden was a celebration. It was graduation. It was not punishment. It was a graduation. See? That's what it was. The serpent in the old text, see, the Roman Catholic Church made the association of the serpent with Satan.
Yes. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
In the real teaching, the serpent is not Satan. The serpent, in some respect, like shout out to our Rosicrucian brothers. The Rosicrucian brothers would tell you that the serpent was guess what, brother? One of the Martian deities. Samael,
yeah.
Samael said God, and he didn't say God. It wasn't God like the universal God. Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, the Tetragrammaton, Yahweh, Jehovah is the Gnostic demiurge. Yeah. Yeah. And so Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh is a lunar deity that's responsible for what? The building of flesh bodies, but not responsible for the indwelling ego in the blood. The indwelling ego in the blood, the color of the blood is what?
Right.
How about that? Hemoglobin is what? Is what causes or is related to what? Iron in the blood, iron content. Iron is the alchemical metal of what planet?
Mars.
Bingo. See that? So Samael, the Martian spirits built into the human flesh bodies, the indwelling ego. That's how they became self-aware.
Right.
So the serpent said, yes. So the serpent said, wait, Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh just knows that if you eat this fruit, you'll become like him. And isn't that exactly what the Elohim said later in the 3rd chapter of Genesis? Behold, the man has become like one of us.
That's right.
That's why he was kicked out the garden. It was graduation. It's like when you turn 18 and you got your diploma from high school, you come home thinking that you're going to have a nice plate of food made, and your fork is bent, your plate is broken, and your bags are packed. That's graduation. It don't feel like graduation.
But you got to get out there.
Graduation.
Right. And if you did it when you was comfortable, you would have never done it. So,
and brother, we've been conditioned to seek that. We've been conditioned to seek the state of rotting fruit on the vine. See? That's that. So we have to change that. Initiation changes that. But it shocks us into the change.
That prefrontal. You got to get out of the frontal, y'all. Get into that crown. 144,000 petals.
Exactly.
And, they would have us visualize a cosmic chord. And again, the reason that I had that visual apparatus, I remember the last Matrix book that I read from Val Valerian. I think it might have been Matrix 5. And on the picture of it, they had the overthought, the egregor. It was a cloud with a cosmic chord, and that was the group think or the group mind or the open mind. So I had that visual, and then it was taught to me. And like you said, they had 90-year-old women in class that were 90 pounds, if you will, right? Could lift you with a finger and fling you across the room.
Yes.
They had immense internal strength. Because the emphasis was working on the core, was working on the diaphragm. But then, long story short, I saw them, do visualization techniques where we would visualize that cosmic chord working almost like a yo-yo. I took the training into the gym, and on that last set that I used to struggle with, I would visualize it going up, like, the yo-yo pulling it up.
Yes.
And the day that it went up was the day that I never looked back and never questioned my ability to tap into that latent strength and utilize, pull it out while I needed to pause when it's most needed.
Yes.
And it has not failed me.
Yes. Yo, bro, that's so deep. We've talked about this before on the show. Matter of fact, I know we've talked about this. I think I talked about this on Red's show before. Let's say we've all been, if you've done any exercise, especially if you had a coach or you had a trainer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He has you doing push-ups, let's say push-ups. You smoked, like you're really smoked. It's not one of those, I just don't want to do it, and so I'm going to fake break it. It's like, I'm smoked physically. And he said, give me 2 more. You ain't got 2 more in you. Physically, you don't got 2 more in you. But somehow you find it. And you crank those 2 out. Because you had nothing left and you had no other choice but to draw it from a higher dimension.
It's there.
Right. So here's the question now. Can you bypass having to do, out of 100 push-ups, 95 to get to the point where you draw from the higher source? Because it's those last 5 that get you where you need to go. But it takes those 95 to break your body down to where you have no choice.
Right.
See?
That part, yes. So have you answered that? Is there a way to bypass it? Get straight to them last 5?
Yeah, get straight to in our literature, in the More Science Civil America, we say, let us forget the flesh. And when we say forget the flesh, we don't mean kill ourselves and die. That's not what we mean. When we say forget the flesh, we mean stop believing the lie that we are flesh. And accept the truth that we are in flesh. So we say, let's forget the flesh and go with mind into the land of fleshless things. Why? Because mind never does forget. So think about it. If man and God were one, that means the memory of being God is still there. The problem is what? Recall. That's all.
Problem is recall.
Problem is recall, but it takes practice. That's all.
Takes
The
a lot
fall of man is consciousness shrinking from non-locality, to use quantum physics language, from shrinking from non-locality to a point. Ascension is what? Expanding the point back into a circle.
Wow.
But we want to do it while in the body.
God damn. I mean, with that scenario that you just presented and that point that you just made,
yes.
You know, again, where does self-identity fit into that 0 point? You know what I'm saying? How important is self-identity, knowing oneself in the physical framing of this experience? How important is that to ultimately unlock and to go back to macro?
It's huge because watch this.
Yes.
We have to accept that we have believed the lie about self-identity. I think I'm Sharif. Was I Sharif in a previous lifetime? Was I Sharif 10 lifetimes? Okay, see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I am called Sharif in this incarnation.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So we have to first redefine self. What is selfhood? A lot of us talk about we have knowledge of self, but do we really? See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Do we really? In other words, if man is not the flesh, you're just in this is temporary, and you were here before this incarnation, and you'll be here after this incarnation, then knowing the flesh ain't knowledge of self. You see what I'm saying? It's easy for us to say man is God. We come on, you know the schools we came out of and came through. It ain't so easy to answer the question, what is man? That ain't so easy. And these are things that, and to answer your question directly, brother, when I say I'm there, I'll say I'm on my way. See what I'm saying? I'm on my way. I'm on the path. That's it. There's certain things that we say are secret, not because somebody took an oath not to tell them, because it's impossible to verbalize.
Man, you're gonna have me go listen to that Common song tonight.
Yeah, a lot of the real secrets are the ones that you cannot explain. You can only experience.
You can only experience.
How many times have you had an experience that we got you so amped up that you tried to explain it and you ended with what? Man, you just had to be there.
There you go. Man, I know I'm leaving something out, man. You just had to be there.
Right. Right. In other words, you can't verbalize it. You cannot, you can't. That's a real secret. That's a real secret. It got nothing to do with, well, I know this and I just can't tell you that. No, real secrets, like, you know what's a real secret? The number 5's a real secret. How about that? You know why the number 5's a real secret? Because everybody accepts the truth that mathematics is a universal language. But can none of y'all verbalize what 5 means?
Ugh.
See, we added attributes to it, right? We say, okay, 5 is like you know, Nation of Gods and Earth. We say 5 is power refinement, right? Okay, cool. We added that, but 5 existed long before we made the connection between those two words and the number.
Right, long before laws of mathematics, right?
Right. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you can't verbalize what 5 means, but intrinsically you know what it means. You experience 5. You use 5, but you can't verbalize its meaning. Right. See? Sure can't. That's a secret for you.
That.
See? That's a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to tackle that.
I got a little bit more time, people. I want to talk about real brief the other 2 parts. So we talked a lot about this initiation, which I'm very happy. I'm very happy we got that out. So let's talk about alchemy too, because initiation is also alchemy, psychological alchemy. We have internal alchemy, external alchemy. All right. Let's go backwards from external to internal. Let's start with external. We've done shows before. We've talked before about ormus, real ormus.
Yes.
In this workshop or in this retreat, Not only are we going to have real Ormus, as some of you have bought from me before, right?
Yes.
We're going to have it, but we're going to talk about in very detail, including a lot of secret, stuff that's not talked about in the public, aspects of Ormus or monoatomic elements. We're going to tie the ancient traditions with cutting edge quantum science. Because that's what quantum mechanics is doing now. It's validating the ancient traditions of our forefathers.
Absolutely.
It's validating it. See? So we're going to go into great detail, right down to the composition of construction of monoatomic elements. See, when we say gold, here's a secret, another secret. When the alchemists say gold, is it talking about physical gold? Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, in the sense of, yes, gold, metal gold, has an M state property. In other words, there's an essence inside that metal gold that we can extract that's not of 3 dimensions. It's a doorway to higher dimensions. That's what M state means. Okay? But guess what? Every physical thing, for the most part, has M state essence. So the essence is the gold. Okay. So leaves on trees have M state elements, gold, platinum group metals, or platinum group elements in them. You just have to know how to extract them. This was the secret of the ancient alchemists. They can extract the M state elements out of sea salt, trees, whatever. There's a scientist by the name of John Rayhart who literally extracted M state gold out of beer bottles. And it's actually, he actually has the research, white papered it and everything. And then guess what he did? Reverse the process and turn that M state gold into metal gold coins. Word is bond. Word is bond. And we can, brother, let me tell you, we're thorough enough to where we're going to explain how that's actually done. I can explain it right now.
Right. And we're going to say that for the workshop. So they froze. Oh, man. You still there, bro? Brad.
Yeah, I'm here. OG
Okay.
going in.
Yeah.
Got him in his hand solo right now.
On the hand solo.
He tapped into hand solo mode. He done hit hand solo flow. You know what I'm talking about? When y'all when you hit hand solo flow, y'all, that's when you just freeze. He live in the quantum somewhere. They see him moving in another realm. He live. Right now he frozen. Judy K speaks about the quantum world is where replication, transformation, and resurrection happens. Yeah. I was told that those worlds. I remember Baba Kalindi speaking about being able to assess those worlds, have full access to those worlds while on the heroic dose and above.
Yes.
Similar to what they showing Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, yes. Yes. Our brother, you're back.
Yes, sir. Apologies for that. I got you.
No, it's all good. You froze when you was like, I could tell you how it works, and I was like, I think you might want to say that for the workshop. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but yeah, so it can be reversed. It could definitely be reversed. You know, go from metal gold, monoatomic back to metal. It can happen.
Wow,
it's been done in the lab. So we're going to talk about the history. We're going to go all the way back to ancient Kemet, and even before ancient Kemet, we're going to talk about the Anunnaki and the whole. You know, you hear like Zachariah Sitch and other people talking about, they had people here mining for gold. Okay, now you know why. You'll learn why King Solomon during his time had different nations, including our sister Makeda, aka the Queen of Sheba,
Yes.
bringing to him tons of gold.
Tons of gold.
Because they were manufacturing, they were turning the gold into monoatomic, they were turning it into mana.
Yes,
mana, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
White powder gold, that's what they were doing. So now it starts to make more sense when Moses had the children of Israel and he went up to Mount Horeb and they were like, oh, where's he gonna go? He ain't coming back. Aaron was like, nah, he said, do something. He makes a golden calf. And then Moses comes down off the mountains, just gets pissed off at them. What does he do with the golden calf? Which doesn't make sense unless you know this.
Mm-hmm.
He burns, it doesn't say melted, burns the golden calf, sprinkles its ashes on the water and makes them drink it.
Here, gold water.
Yes, brother, straight like that.
It
now, the golden calf thing is interesting. Why? Because in 1901, the real Indiana Jones, Sir Flinders Petrie, was on the Sinai Peninsula on a mountain called Serpent el-Katim, right? Which is the ancient Mount Horeb. And guess what he finds up there? An Egyptian-style temple, right? Where there's all kinds of inscriptions talking about manna and big, huge vats with this fine white powder.
I did hear this, yes.
And, right, it was dedicated to the goddess Hathor. What's her emblem? The golden cow.
Golden calf, yes. With the sun disk.
There you with the sun disk. That's it.
That gold.
Yes. Yes. So that temple on Mount Horeb was a manufacturing plant.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah, it's wild, people. You know, Jesus, we'll talk about the gold, the whole monoatomic gold thing is connected to the mysteries of Jesus directly. Directly.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's connected to him directly. How? Because, okay, in the Bible, it talks about two religious/political groups in Jerusalem, the Pharisees and the Sadducees. But there was a third religious political group that lived in the Qumran area where they found the Dead Sea Scrolls. And one of the places for naturally occurring monoatomic elements is the Dead Sea.
Yes.
70% of the salt water is M-state gold and platinum group metals.
That's where I was getting a lot of my monatomics from.
Yes, sir.
The Dead Sea's over there, then they got a Dead Sea in Utah.
Sure do, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure do. Yes. And brother, this is serious stuff. And so the Qumran community, the Essenes, right, were not just manufacturing, but they were also extracting from the natural state. Yes, sir.
So we have the flyer pulled up.
Yes.
I want you to definitely speak on anything that you did, if anything was left out.
One last thing. I'll share it right now.
Yes.
I'll share it right now. Here we go. So I've been researching the whole M-state element thing in monoatomic gold and alchemy, actual external alchemy, right, for at least going on 15 years. And so I was convinced. I said, okay, there's got to be an internal counterpart or something. There's got to be a source of M-state elements in the body.
Yes.
There has to be. I didn't have any real evidence or solid evidence, but there just has to be. And the first evidence I got was from the late Lawrence Gardner, who was historiographer royale for the Dragon Court of the Knights Templar Order. And he remarked, and then I followed it up and found out, yes, if you dry a human brain, 5% of it is M-state gold and platinum group metals.
Wow.
Yes, that's fact. But guess what? It's better than that. It's bigger than that. See, now we're bridging the gap to internal alchemy. So the ancient, according to Lawrence Gardner, and then a number of other researchers on, and Tim Hogan of the Knights Templar Order, the ancient Kemetic rulership ingested the monatomic gold, they said, to deify the kings.
Absolutely.
To
Absolutely.
fortify the light body, they called it. Now.
Yes. So, yes.
No, go.
The whole aspect of the Christos and the chrism oil,
yes,
comes from them utilizing the crocodile fat and the ormus gold in Heliopolis.
That's right.
To initiate kings and own. So everywhere with an own on it, like London,
yes,
they're all borrowing from the Anunnaki / ancient Kemetic king-making ceremonial rituals. So I imagine they must have got it from Sumerians.
You got it, brother.
But this is a process. This was definitely what they were doing. The pharaonic induction into higher realms and higher state meant that individual was pharaonic because they had access to, these particular cranial nerves, the sutras.
Yes, brother.
And
So
that's all activated. Yes,
it's all active. Listen, that's real. And see, now we're getting into the realm of what we could call chemotheology and biotheology.
Ooh.
See, because there's a bridge, there's a real tangible bridge between the non-physical and the physical. And those things that bridge those gaps have always been kept secret, people.
Yes.
This is what we're going to be dealing with and talking about, because again, our objective is to initiate people into post-disclosure life. So you live it now. All right. So I come across doing my research on quantum mechanics, and my friend Randy Wietenheimer and another one, Alan Greenfield. Alan Greenfield said, Sharif, and he told me this a number of years ago, he says, because of your Kung Fu training and your Qigong training and all this other stuff, you need to look at quantum biology. Now I just gave y'all the jewel. Quantum biology. So I started looking there. So you've got, and if you guys have heard me say this before, there's 3 quantum physicists, award-winning quantum physicists that I'm fans of. There's David Bohm, who came up with what's called the implicate order. In other words, a higher dimensional, you have a presence on a higher dimension, and that presence downloads into your physical flesh in 3D.
Implicate order?
Implicate order. David Bohm, B-O-H-M. So let's just say it again. You have, prior to quantum biology and quantum mechanics in general, the general understanding of how the body transduces information is through the DNA.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that DNA often repairs itself. So here's the question: where does it get its info from? Right. So David Bohm comes up with, and then it's put through its rigorous scientific paces, and they're like, you know what? I think he's right. There's a higher dimensional you that pours into the 3-dimensional you.
Yeah. So we understand that through the Max Planck Institute as what do they call it? E8, with things emanating, and then if you look at the overlay as a lattice or a grid, breaking down the fractal light into this physical reality. When I was doing my
also the Tesseract
on the
what you both have just said is literally what the ancients were trying to describe when they drew up the Kabbalistic tree of life.
Yes.
How unity fractionalizes into diversity on the plane of manifest.
Yep.
Now, the next scientist, his name was Rupert Sheldrake. I'm sure you probably have heard of him. He called the implicate order something else. He expanded on it. He called it the morphogenic field.
Yes.
And then quantum biologist, this Chinese woman by the name of Mei Wan Ho. She called it the biogenic field because she applied it to living organisms. Now, guess what? And here's where it gets super exciting for me every time I think about it. She wrote white paper based on some rigorous research. Guess what she found?
What's that?
An abundance of M-state hydrogen all throughout the human body. Guess where? The connective tissue highway.
Okay, fascia?
Yes.
Fascia.
The fascia. That
Right.
is your
So,
light
yeah.
body. That
So
is
that would
your
make sense, right.
wormhole body. That's it.
Yeah. Yes, that would
The
make all
fascia
of
network and the connective tissue network is literally the wormhole connecting your physical flesh to your higher self.
This is a fact. This is a Fendi. You know, when I go into my morning routines in the gym,
Yes.
especially when it's dark and I'm activating the fascia,
Yes.
and especially when I was engaging in the fungus,
Yes.
yeah, those are those points in times where I was seeing those openings and those flashes to other
Yeah, man.
place. So yeah, she's very much on point. That if you
Yes.
have fully functioning fascia, if your fascia is not stiff
Right.
and rigid, but it's fluid,
Correct.
lymph fluid is moving the way it's supposed to,
Correct.
the glandular fluids, everything is operating in capacity. You're operating from the toe to the tongue, right? Because
Actual from the toe, literally. Yo, it's deep you said that. Now watch this. Guess what she notes in her paper? This M-state hydrogen is in a gel sol state, a liquid state. It's literally hydrogen water. But
that's
it's
what I'm saying.
M-state hydrogen.
Yeah.
It's M-state hydrogen. Let me explain to everybody what we mean by M-state. Yep. Let me explain what M-state means. When you hear monoatomic, that's M-state, but let me describe what that is. Let's use a gold atom as the example. We learned in basic chemistry in high school, what makes metal feel the way it does? Metal to metal bonds. The electrons bond and add a gold atom to another atom in a particular way. That's why wood feels the way it feels, metal feels the way it feels, plastic feels the way it feels. Okay, here we go. Watch this. Those electrons around the gold atom they perform what we call an octet, perfect octet, right? All the electrons are orbiting in their own orbit, and it creates a balance. So what we do is in this particular case, we fire on the nucleus of the atom, the gold atom, with a high energy electric arc. Causes the nucleus of the gold atom to rotate at a high rate of speed. And when it does, it elongates like a cat's iris, like the Vesica Pisces. When that happens, the electrons form on each end. It's now called a dumbbell atom. And then the nucleus flexes so that the electrons pair with each other. In physics, it's called a Cooper pairing.
Cooper pairing, yep.
Yes. When that happens, listen close, people. When that happens, the atom now is called a Compton radius vortex. The smallest matter that can be held in 3 dimensions. It is literally, and it's a vortex. Why? Because it's a miniature wormhole to the higher dimensions. It forms around it what's called a Meisner field. Look that up. You know what happens with a Meisner field? It's going to mess you all up. Anything inside a Meisner field is quantum entangled with anything else in a Meisner field anywhere in the universe. And that, people, is literally the functional definition of the magic square when doing conjuring. Inside the square is called the field of operations, where time and space don't exist and you have access to everything. Now, how do you break a Meisner field? I'm going to tell it, bro. I might as well. How do you break a Meisner field? Pulsed microwaves. So you pulse microwaves at a sample of monoatomic gold. Oh, hold on, let me finish. When that Cooper pairing is formed, all of the electrons are rotating in the exact same direction. That's why it's called monoatomic. When that happens, the metal to metal bonds fall apart and you have pure gold, but it's a powder and it's no longer a metal.
Right. So via alchemy family, in the time-honored tradition of them looking for the philosopher's stone.
Yes.
The philosopher's stone was said to be a powder. Like he said, so the fetters of metal, because metal is what? Metal initially in alchemy would be lead.
Yes.
It's represented by Saturn. As we started the conversation earlier, it's about restriction.
You got it.
And it's about structure and discipline. So the metal is giving the noble element structure and form. Yes. But once you drop the fetters, once you drop the things that were considered to be physical structures, then it becomes powder, and it's a weightless powder.
Yes.
You understand me? So,
and it's called the powder of projection by the ancients because it's a doorway to higher dimensions. As a matter of fact,
that same powder is being utilized, as you said earlier. I believe it was you that said in this program.
Yes.
Here's
a sample of it right here.
Yes, that's what's being utilized in the crafts for zero gravity.
Yeah. And yes, that's what's being used. Listen, that's what was inside the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, that's also what was inside to give it its conductive power.
Yes. Because
gold is a superconductor. Family.
Superconductor. Now, there we go.
Superconductor.
Now, if you've got M-state elements, M-state hydrogen throughout your whole body, we've just identified the source and the origin of human superconductivity.
Yes.
See that? Now, if it's already in your body, that's why we call whatever's in your body the primary elixir. Whatever you put in your body from the outside is secondary elixir. Now, how do you access the already pre-existing M-state elements in your body? Qigong is internal alchemy. That's how. So that we got the whole thing covered with this workshop, people, with this retreat. Internal alchemy. We're going to be given, and we're going to work with both ends of the magic wand, and the magic wand is the spine. We're going to work with both ends of the magic wand. In other words, we're going to work with the sexual alchemy, sexual transformation, and cranial sacral qigong, where you're going to literally learn exercises to physically stimulate the pineal gland. Yes. We're going to work with both ends.
Somebody make it and yes, somebody asked earlier, is that the fourth phase of water? Yes, that's structured water.
Yes, structured water.
Sort of how the allspark was crushed to dust, but that
how
was
about that?
To bring Optimus back to life. Yes.
Good observation.
The allspark, was man. So family, we are here.
Yes.
I'm turning into a pumpkin. I'm past my bedtime.
Yeah, same, bro. Same.
But yeah, you are building. You have shared. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think people understand that this information is plus degree.
Yes.
You know, some people will never be able to access this if it's behind a paywall or initiation situation.
Right.
Some people never get to this degree to get this.
They don't have the access. They're not given the access.
Yeah, of insight.
Yes.
And it's the pinnacle of where information is going. Like he said, it's the perfect integration.
Yes.
And we are at that phase in our reality where alchemy is no longer a choice. Is man or is machine gonna mount man? You know, you have to break out of your chrysalis during this time. And in order for man to become what he ultimately is being, this is the methodology that's needed. You know, we have to we're gonna have to become more of our M state than
Yes.
our end state. You know what I'm saying?
Let me share this with you all because I got to cut loose too really quick. But let me just share. You just sparked a thought, brother, and I literally I'm writing it down now. It's going to be a presentation. Here it is, people. We say in the More Science Silver Miracle, Black according science means death, but that's not a bad thing.
Right.
Death because life springs forth from death. How about that? This is a cycle, people. We measure time. So death ain't no bad thing. Death's not an enemy to man. It's a friend.
Right now, look. Right. Once you inject that missing piece of the cycle, see, like in my methodology, I explained 44 is one thing that's rigid. It's a square.
Yes.
144 is a circle.
Woo,
So
it sure is, bro.
Just putting the 1 on it, then you rotate it, and it becomes something that's remediating and it's healing.
Yes.
440 frequency will tear you up. 144 will heal you.
Heal you.
So they have removed that last piece from death, which is the reincarnation. That you like, all I got to do is get that. You will be happy to go into that reality. You will smile and cry coming in.
Thank you. Think of it like this. When you disrobe, because your flesh are closed. Think about it at night. When you disrobe and go to bed, you don't have a funeral and mourn. Conversely, when you wake up in the morning and put on a new set of clothes, you don't say congratulations, it's a boy, and have a cigar. Right? Now, watch this. Watch this, people. Watch this. We said black coincidence means death. Listen, no people have been listed collectively as a body of people and called dead black, but us in America. Now follow me on this. Follow me. And this is not, I'm not plugging the More Science of America. Just follow me on this. The first stage of alchemy, study some alchemy, people. There's 3 stages. First stage is called putrefaction, dissolution, where you break something down. You break down the old self to its very last compound. Guess what that's called, people? Death. It's called, the literal term in alchemy is called negro.
That's a fact.
Am I right? Now then, here's the second stage. You have to pull the pure essence out of the broken down material.
You extract it.
Albedo.
Guess
what the last stage is? Ready? You reform a new body. And that's called rubedo, redness.
I remember when you broke down the chemical romance with the Rosicrucians and the chemical wedding.
Father RC. That's right.
Right. From Father RC. That story is crazy when you broke it down, how they mixed them up and whatnot.
Yes.
But that process right there, that's part of my framework for the GOD, generator operated destroyer. Ooh. That's a principle right there.
Yes.
So even in AI, they deal with recursion.
Yes.
Right. So there's no GPT-4 without killing GPT-5
without
3.
Killing GPT, but there you go.
Yeah, you have to, but it's not killing it, it's absorbing it.
Yes.
And you take what works for it and then you leave what doesn't work. The models evolve and they become moles with a core model of experts. Right? Ooh. They evolve from LLMs into moles, model of experts. It's multimodal, so that's quantum. So now the AI is not just tapping into one chatbot type of experience. It's doing video. It has vision. It could see. So the AI could watch YouTube videos. It could speak and whatnot. It has a whisper attached to it. It could hear.
Yes.
It's multimodal. You know what I mean?
Multimodal.
Right. And then Clawbot and these new technologies are modes, what are called model of experts. Right. So one agent is an expert in one thing and another agent is an expert at another thing, but it's really the Napoleon Hill mastermind principle concept. That's all it is. And what the prophet and many others talked about is a council of experts, but it was called the council of elders.
Now, bro, perfect segue. Now follow me. You had a whole bunch of Europeans earlier, right? About a year ago, with this No Kings thing, and even before that, saying, yo, why don't you black people get out here and protest with us? And right? We said, nah, we sitting this one out. But then a number of other Europeans said this. No. If we have to protect them, we're going to go out. They need to sit back. And bigger than that, shout out to these two European women. They got a podcast called I've Had It. Go check it out. They know what they're saying on their podcast? Not only do they need to sit out, so-called black people need to sit out, we need to seek their wisdom. They've been here before. They've been trying to tell us this for decades. So what are we looking at?
Right.
We're looking at the niggerification of America.
Because what's taking place is that the Negro in America has become the favorable candidate. Tupac is on the missiles that the Iranians are sending, the new missiles, that is, not the old ones. That so their new campaign, their new reverse campaign is appealing to the melanated, quote unquote, Godheads, the messiahs in America, to the point where they're willing to start telling the truth, and they're willing to start opening up a few books and whatnot, because they're like, look, we beat Genghis Khan in them. We got the history. We're PhDs. Yeah, we're the Aryans and whatnot, but we got some of the truth. So now that the crazy bald head, the emperor has no clothes, it's the Mad King era that we're in right now. You have Europeans fulfilling Noble Drew Ali's prophecy of them doing what? Telling on themselves, and them willing to pack up and go home, and them saying that, listen, in a game of elimination, there isn't any more players on the board. It was the black the whole time. Now that the people who are identity stealing them are really acting crazy and really acting a fool, and they're really at the point in the book where they said that we could tell the world the truth. Now they're ready to put. But my question is, they're basically saying we're gonna protect them. But we know ultimately the way that the movie plays out, that front or that flank will get worn down, and the fight will one day come to our doorstep. The $1 million question is, as people give us all this aggrandizement and whatnot, is that going to help us prepare, or is that going to make us more lazier and just sit back and be docile?
And brother, again, here we go with the retreat. That's another thing, because see, you said it right there. We've become used to othering ourselves from the rest of the human family. So and we always had the excuse of having somebody else's foot on our neck. What's going to happen when we no longer have that excuse? See, that's another way of just rephrasing Red's question. Are we going to get up? See, uplifting fallen humanity means removing our excuses. That's what it means. Removing our excuses. You see? So here, look how we've been set up. Look how I don't mean set up in a bad way, lined up as in a good way. We already know what it's like to be the N-word. We know what it's like to be othered. America is now being othered thanks to Trump from the rest of the world. And Europeans are feeling what it's like to be. Yeah, how did Paul Mooney say it? Everybody want to be a nigga, don't nobody want to be a nigga. Now they feel it. They're starting to feel it.
Right.
To us, it's any given Tuesday. To them, this is brand new. But guess what? We're leading because we've been through the first stage collectively. This is social alchemy. We've been through collectively as a people the first stage of alchemy, people. And we're into the beginnings of the second stage. Extracting the pure essence out of the old raw material to remake the new man. That's where we are, people. We're leading. In other words, in our low, we're leading. Even when we're losing, we're winning. See? No. But now it's on us because it's our problem, people. It's our problem. Let's be proactive about it. Let's not wait for the winds to whip us into shape. Let's not do that, people. Invest in yourself. Invest in your future. Invest in your legacy. See, start the process now. I hope to see as many of you as many. I'll put it. Let me say it the right way. As many of you that will to do this. I hope I see you on May 22nd. Yeah, as many of you that will to do it, because some of us don't. Right? Let's be real. We not all of us believe our condition can be better. See, many of us have accepted the condition. See, if
Yes.
you believe your condition can be better, man, then let's get in this fight, people.
That part.
In this war of narratives. See, let's get back into the cockpit of your spirit self, and not the grave of your carnal self.
Ugh. What'd you say that podcast was name again?
Which one?
You said there's 2 women on it.
Oh, I've had it. IHI.
I think I've been watching that.
Yeah, they serious.
Yeah, it's some very interesting conversations taking place out there.
Yes.
I enjoy reading your commentary on Facebook when I open up my app. You know, you're going in. Shout out to our brother Mansa. You know,
oh yeah, Mansa. Shout out to the More Kush brothers. Those brothers are solid.
Yes.
Yeah, Mansa is solid.
I got a phone call earlier today from Matea.
Get out of here.
What? Yeah. Matea?
Get out of here.
I got Mansa on Techno Tuesdays tomorrow. I promise you, y'all don't want to miss that. The brother, when I tell you that this brother is on the cutting edge of technology, he is.
Oh,
he out there with Artemis and them. My dude is out of space right now. He's a special guest. He's gonna blow your mind. Just tap in.
I'm gonna tap in.
A Red Pill, aka Dr. Claude Anderson. You know what I mean? I'm with the Claude bot. Nah, listen, man, y'all have no idea. I'm telling you, Dr. Claude Anderson, I'm about to really turn this thing up. And really, it's crazy right now.
A lot going on, man. So so many breakthroughs. What I meant to say, this UN conversation is bringing a lot of people out of retirement, a lot of people out of the shadows.
Yes.
With some amazing perspectives, and bringing a lot to the table. You know, people are coming with connections, resources, conversations, and keys to the rest of the world.
Yes.
You know, expansion. So don't get locked in and isolated, with your national identity by going on with what this administration got going on in terms of their isolationism.
That's right.
It is time for us to expand. It's time for us to get macro and micro.
Straight like that.
You know, the dissolution of duality is what I call it. You got to find the center. And once you find your center, then you can, you can perfectly balance left and right, west and east, good and bad, whatever that stuff is, the dualism have you trapped in.
Yes.
This
Actual fact. You said a bar right there with, how did you say it again about duality? Would you say?
The dissolution of dualism.
We say that we use similar words to say the exact same thing. The resolution of opposites.
Yes, resolution of opposites.
Resolution of opposites, people. Oneness, real oneness, but think oneness. Start to think like that. Like, hey, if we out of 5 things, we disagree on 4, we can unify on the one that we agree on.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
Start thinking like that.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And, just observe. It's about observation. It's very hard to say, I ain't got a pony in a race.
Come on now.
Just checking it out.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I got to take off real quick, Blue and Red, especially you, Blue.
Yes,
I want to say for the audience, we got, like the brother was talking about some socio-political things going on in this UN thing. Listen, we got something cooking.
Yeah, we do.
We got something cooking to talk about some of this identity crisis stuff.
Yes.
And reparations.
Yes, responsibly, we're gonna deal with some very monumental issues, very responsibly. Again, like I said, so look forward to that.
Absolutely.
Collegiate and strategic, and what a time to be alive.
For sure.
Man, I need to have the Al Andalus conversation with you
Yes.
My good brother, I need you to bring some of my Moors who travel, because we have to have this Latin America, South America conference.
Listen, brother.
Let's call it the Panama conference.
Are you familiar? I think I told you this before on one of your shows. I think I did. And we might be able to get him. Shout out to Immortal Technique. Immortal Technique is Peruvian, as you guys know.
Right. I was with Immortal Tech. That's right, because I was with Immortal Technique about a month ago.
Dope.
Him and Akir. They came through. They came to Atlanta, and I already locked it in. So I already told them that we're gonna do the panel. So
his father not only was identified, he was Peruvian, identified as a Moor, but was fez wearing.
Bro, when I met that man and interviewed him, I once again put him on the cover of Four Corners. Okay. And nobody knew who he was. And I was like,
what year was that? 04?
Nah, this was 02. Because I had fought for him before I fought to put Kanye on the cover. I put Kanye on the cover in 03 before Kanye had it. Before Through the Wire came out. I called it early.
Wow.
Did I not, Red?
Yeah, you did.
Wow. See, y'all, audience,
before
man.
Through the Wire.
Listen. We've been around for a minute, people. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah, bro. Four Corners newsletter. What?
Cooking.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man.
So, yeah, Immortal Technique, though.
Yes. Oh, got another brother. I got to introduce y'all. As a matter of fact, Brad, I'm going to make the introduction. He's a member of my temple.
Yeah.
He full-blooded Moorish American, recognizes the Moorish Mexican connection. He's Mexican and Peruvian.
Yes. Let's cook, please. It's time.
Let me tell you, when I had seen Immortal, we went to like a Jack the Rapper convention. It wasn't specifically Jack the Rapper, but it was whatever what the industry thing was at that time.
Yes.
And it was a convention. Russell Simmons and all of them was running through there, and Immortal was just trying to be heard. And I remember we was at a panel, and it was an A&R panel, and this when Eric Nixon them was around. And I know these people, but I'm in my reporter mode, and I'm like, they be in Hollywood, they being real stush, like all these independent artists is trying to get, and they just treating them like backpackers. So they was treating him, they was just throwing off all of the inquiries that he was making into the career about how to get his stuff together. And he hit me with that mixtape.
Wow.
And I went and listened to that mixtape.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was over.
And it was a wrap. I put Red on. I was like, yo.
His music, right. I was intimidated when I heard it the first time. Facts. It's like when you hitting a blunt that's too strong, I had to clip that shit. Like, nah, it's too, for real. Yeah. I was playing and I was looking outside my window. Right. Like, like I'm thinking that the Agent Smith heard that. Like, did Agent Smith hear this nigga? Let me close my blinds. The fuck? Did you hear what this nigga just said? Because it was, remember, I want people to keep in mind and be of the mindset that when Kanye West in 2005 and George Bush's America got on TV and said that he don't like black people, it was almost right. Folks was like, they was thought he was about to get drug out and hung high. That was like a lynching moment in a sense. That was so politically incorrect at that time. It just gives you an idea of where everybody was, on some MK Ultra shit. So to hear Immortal
perspective, because this was post 9/11.
Post 9/11, Patriot time.
It was in full Patriot swing mode, and they was galvanizing the whole community and society to go to war. And Immortal Technique was totally counter. I mean, he was unapologetic about his revolution, not just being in his music, but as a lifestyle. Right? I think our brother's screen is froze.
Another one.
Yeah, but I gotta go. I appreciate this. Real quick before I do go, I want to qualify this because you asked me how I spent my 4-4, and I feel like at least I owe the family explanation. Okay, so I might have been wrong. Revolutionary Volume 2 was 04, 05. I'll accept that.
Yeah, that's when I came to New York. We
Yeah,
had saw him at SOBs.
that sounds right about right. You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, um, April 4th, I wake up and the first thing I get is an inbox and it has the Kanye West set list from the night prior. And I saw it was 44 songs. And I just retired that day. I took that day off. I felt personally vindicated and qualified with the pedigree of work that I've been doing for over 20 years with that algorithm. Kanye brought it home for me. You know what I'm saying? And I needed that. I needed that confirmation. I needed that break. And I needed to take it all in because that was the most monumental shit that I have seen, bar none.
Right.
Where, and then the qualification, the girl from TikTok breaking down the Polaris shit. So I'm like, yo, they got it.
Yeah.
Completed. And then the Iran shit with the missing pilot and that going back to 444, 444 days that Iran had the missing, because all of this funk with this country started 47 years ago, dealing with Iran snatching them hostages up for 444.
Yeah, the hostage shit.
So
Right.
Iran has always been a heavy 44 resonator. I didn't get it. I haven't got an opportunity to hit y'all with 100 pieces of receipts, but trust me, I have them. I just didn't want to talk about war. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, y'all niggas want me to tell y'all they're going nuclear? I'll show it to you. I'll show you the receipts. I don't want to get into that. You know what I'm saying? 4 day was very bloody here in Atlanta. You know, there will be blood. It should not be ours. The city got to do better. It was chaotic this strong in. There's the whole shit with Memphis coming into play, right? With the 4-4 with MLK, but Memphis coming into play with Yo Gotti. Not too many people have seen, I mean, with
Pooh Shiesty.
Not too many people saw the lecture that I had prepped in January. I was supposed to do something with you, but I ain't fully lay it out. And I titled this lecture Solar Flare. And I was explaining the whole situation about the solar flares. And I know the solar flares is active now because my phone is acting crazy and filling up. So solar flares is hitting just now. The solar flare was about the Gucci Man stuff was taking place when the solar flares was hitting, but also ICE was acting up in St. Paul, Minnesota. So the So Icy rapper getting Pooh Shiesties by the balaclavas. It's all there, bro. It's just all there. And
I remember you have that presentation for the Ice King. Yeah.
Backwards and shift through it all. I'm gonna get back to it, family. I'll make up for it. I'm gonna get in there. And I'm not gonna do a live lecture. I'm gonna do one that's already packaged and presented for y'all, like a video essay.
Right. And we got to give them a book too, because I promised them a book. So I'm just waiting for your part.
I got so much information.
Oh, for sure. If you want to get up with me one day.
And yeah, I don't want to make it sound like I don't got time for y'all, family. And it's just so much. That's not the thing. The thing is, I want to leave us on a higher frequency. We are in wartime, and this 44 energy is off the hook. And I want to do something different with it. You know what I'm saying? With redirecting what it is that we're looking to create rather than telling you what they have planned. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, I'm watching the Gucci and what you call the situation. That's big. It's big.
I was telling people earlier that's a big situation. That's a precedent situation.
It's bigger than rap.
That's gonna that's
not on no street shit. I'm just saying, like, I'm going through my symbolism. I mean, I'm sure that you mean something different, but it's still right.
It's above so below.
Yeah, it's no wrongs here. But ramifications, crazy. And overlapping parallels. Yeah, man, it's It's going down. It's going down in real time, and I want y'all to be very mindful. Tomorrow's 4/7, and homie is not number 47 for no reason. Number 47 resonates very strongly with presidential offices. I will remind you, go back and watch National Treasure. If you want to know the mystery of 44, the Euclid issue of 44 is a Masonic situation. It's dealing with the 20, bro. 23.5 is the angle and degree of the Masonic compass. 23.5 plus 23.5 is 47. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
You know, dude ain't posturing for nothing. You know what I'm saying? This play is playing out. You just got to get your minds right, because it's a distraction. It's all about this digital financial global reset that's finna happen with this money, this AI and this crypto. That's what this is about. And yeah, there's spiritual applications and implications, but AI and crypto.
AI and crypto. It's an AI war going down
on every level imaginable.
Yeah. It's an open air market. It's a weapon show.
But beyond that, yeah, I mean that as well. You know,
It's an integration.
it's
It's
so many
all
layers.
kind of shit.
So many layers.
It's singularity. It's all of that.
Yeah,
because things speed up in the war. It's quantum. It's the quantum quickening on steroids.
It's quantum. It's quantum, y'all.
It's IWAS. But yeah, we'll get to it. I look forward to when you're ready. And I would also, I don't want to put too much weight on your shoulders because I know tomorrow's leg day. But that book with you and Al-Kibal on, my brother. Conversations with the motherfucking cosmos. God damn. That's just another plate that I'm putting on that bar for you. But yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's coming.
I know. I just can't wait. I'm anticipating. I had caught a, it's doing what it's due.
Yeah. I appreciate that. And
there's photos from that show, and so far, they gotta go in that book. The photography that came out of that show is epic.
I had started writing. I gotta retrieve my iPad because I got 2 Kanye books on there. One of them is 3/4 finished. He had did something and I stopped it maybe 2 years ago. Like, when he be wigging.
Right. Make you put your pen down.
I have some of the man. I got some of the most compelling narratives about homie. And I got so many receipts now, like you said, that I got to go back and I might just do the definitive Ye book, the Ye book of all Ye books, because they need one. But I'm just so honored, that homie is writing a new chapter, and because this is Kanye 2.0, this is Ye 2.0. I'm like, he's on that stage looking like, yo, I got 20, 30, 40 years ahead of me. Right?
You think so?
I'm saying that he's gonna be the artist going to show you the integration between him and AI. That with him being resurrected and rejuvenated with a new medium to help with his assistance of creating, because he drives people away. Yes, I think he's gonna fully fall into becoming one of the illest integrated AI artists, and then his minions around him, like North give North 2 years. She's gonna find one.
Oh nah, she's gonna go
find one, and she's out of here when she do. So it's gonna be his branches. It's not just gonna be him, but he got this. He got this, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That catalog is crazy.
Whew. Man,
and
the catalog is stupid.
Songs, yes, once he gets the songs down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once he
gets he's filling them out. Those
are stadium. Those songs work perfect in the catalog. See, it's about the body of work.
I saw a video that broke down how every single song on Bully, it pays homage to every single song from his era.
Oh,
Each one of the songs matches with a song from his era, from the 808 era. They play song, from the St. Pablo era, from the 808 Heartbeat era, from the Beautiful Dark Twist. There's one song each that goes with each song from that era, and I saw the video that matched it up perfectly. Fontano, the fallout with them canceling all of the people dropping out of that festival, the wireless festival, and then the review on what is that? It's one of those rock and roll, it's one of those online music reviews, and then the Fontano dude, right? Everybody who's a Yahudi, right? All of them showed their true colors when they cannot, they so butthurt. You feel me? They so butthurt as to what he did, and they so hypocritical and what it is that they, and how they posturing themselves about how they won't forgive somebody, and how they don't want nobody to make music anymore because he said something that offended them, while we're living at where they have an Epstein war going on right now.
That's what they doing? I ain't catch that.
Oh nah, the Fontano dude. There's people that are talking, huh?
I saw articles saying that people was hot. I just didn't read them.
It's the juice boxes, the ones that think that they could curate our culture. They are hot because they're looking around saying, "Wait up, we didn't say that he was back. We didn't agree to this. When did this happen?" Right? They're super confused and whatnot, acting like that they were supposed to give hip hop the green light in order for him to come out with an album, in order for everybody to say that we like him again, in order for 80,000 people to buy tickets. You see, they putting out hit lists of all of the famous people that was at the SoFi show, talk about, oh, we're gonna delete their songs, we're gonna cancel them. All of this weak, it's that fake shit. And remember,
the internet, man. I'm glad
every single one of those artists was on Hummingbird Huff when the Epstein shit was rolling out. When all of that stuff was going down, none of them retweeted nothing. None of them beat on their chest. None of them demanded for justice for Virginia and the girls and whatnot. None of them said nothing about Pam Bondi. I'm talking about they was all on super crickets, but they want to try to have a word about what's going on with Pooh Shiesty, Gucci Man. I mean, niggas came out the closet like flying roaches in Dominican Republic when the minute the Gucci Man shit and Pooh, everybody was a goddamn had a critic. Everybody had a clip. Everybody was outside. Yo, I'm outside with my 2 cents.
I ain't even had one. Yeah, everybody did. I seen it. Like,
but didn't say nothing about nothing else. So yeah, they convinced me with all of this stupid ish. Nobody corrected Hove when he said it was 4 pillars of hip hop. No, the battle rap community, they let me down. There was no pushback for real. Nobody went viral. Huh?
Luxton.
I seen people saying something, but that shit didn't grow no legs and no wings. They didn't onslaught him.
Okay.
He tried to pull the plug on the entire industry of battle rap and said that it needs to go away, bro. He sat on that couch with that beanie on and tried to vamoose them niggas. Are you? Yeah.
I seen what he did.
Yeah. If that was a stock, he would be, you know what I mean? Like he was hedging against
try to crash their stock.
Yeah.
Interesting. Go, I would say reach out to knowledge to God. Or go to his channel. I seen him put up content about people responding. I just, once again, I haven't gotten a chance to sit with it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're cooking up a response that's going to be on a podcast or something. Maybe it's not an immediate right away.
Yeah, I hope they do.
But niggas, they hearts is hurt. That's still one of their heroes, and it's hard to break up with your heroes, and
it is. Sometimes they say don't meet your heroes, right?
Yeah, don't meet your heroes. So people are soul searching. They checking their identity. Was he talking to me? It's all of that. These things are gonna happen, and people attempting to rationalize what was said, why it was said, and how it was said. All of that is deep. We're going through all of that. We're going through, these phases of denial of people uncoupling themselves with their idols while they adopt new ones and fall out with old ones. Right. These are some interesting times, man.
That's that Neptune and Aries. We're in a new epoch. You know what I mean? Stick around long enough, the heroes are becoming villains. Yeah. That's why some people need to choose if they're gonna stick around or leave. You know what I mean? Yeah, but look, I'm about to turn it down, bro.
Yeah, me too. I gotta finish. I gotta join. I got a sizzler that I'm about. You know, I'm doing a poem every day for the month of poetry in April. So
okay,
I'm editing the sizzler that I gotta throw up before I take it down tonight because I missed last night because I was trying to get on Sacrilegious Sunday with you, but then I started watching the Ye show and it was a wrap. So
right. It's all good. Yeah, so Techno Tuesdays, I got Mansa on there tomorrow. No, and then we're gonna maybe you could jump on WTF Wednesdays or something. But shout out to Sharif, powerful show. We gotta let those jewels marinate, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, leave comments.
Yes, like, comment, and share. I gotta get on that, because every other YouTube clip that I watch, they emphasize it for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? Let's push this up into the algorithm. You got an amazing time. Share that with someone who didn't. So
social currency. These conversations should not just live on your page alone. These conversations should be spread like rumors. The narratives, the conversations, and the quote unquote, what's being talked about needs to move around. It needs to grow. Our people need this information. This is life-changing information from this platform that's being disseminated. So let this be carried by our KT aliens. Shout out to everybody. Run those numbers up, leave those comments, share, and word from our sponsor, and then we'll see you again. Shout out to V-Cell CMOS. Shout out to Farmy. You dig? You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to the
farmyorganics.com.
Farmy Organics. Shout out to Mama Pill. Shout out to KT. I see he has a video with 3 milli. I'm gonna go check that out. You dig? And yeah.
V-Cell in my cup, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Flow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. V-Cell in my cup, I'm feeling right. Sip to the sunrise, dance to the night. From the ocean's kiss to your city lights. 21 flavors, pure health in every bite. Drip so clean, we're custom made. From reef to street, we elevate. Gold green gel, set the record straight. Nature in a bottle, that's a better way. Charge me up, no caffeine crash. Clean energy, steady splash. From skin to gut, yeah, we live from within. Wellness on 10, let the rhythm begin. Pour it up, pour it up. Feel the wave, body thanking me. Every save, ocean wisdom in this glass. V-Cell magic, CMOS. V-Cell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Flow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. Island breeze in the city maze. We're mineral rich in 1,000 ways. Immunity high like the summer rays. Hydrate the hustle, fuel your days. Berry, mango, ginger, lime. Pick your flow, your flavor, your time. Beauty and balance we redefine. Every little sip, align your shine. Wear it up, feel the way. Body thanking me for every step. Ocean wisdom in this glass. V-Cell magic, CMOS. V-Cell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Flow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. From the coral choir to the heartbeat drum. Roots run deep where the wild tide hum. Real ones know where the glow comes from. V-Cell in the mix now, watch us.
V-Cell. All right. Peace, love, and light to the family.
Peace, y'all. All right. To the next one.
Peace. Huh?
I said until
the next one. Peace.
can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree in the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Bless.
Crumb TV.